more. All right, let's go learn more about that. Thank you, Obi. Thanks, Ramin, Fabian, everybody here that's been working on the show, of course, including Mark, who probably has more work to do in the podcast room. It seems like every day, even though it looks completely done to me, but every day there's something new happening. So we like that one more time. So, all right, without any further ado, it's the big show. Let's go.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That right there is your girl, Adara. You faded me because I point to her, right? Is your girl, Adara, and I am Sharif, and we're waiting for everyone to come on over from the other stream. We already have Mr. Two Pamps, Darwin in the chat. We have Miss Master JT, sure. Benson, Yannick, Brendan, Townsend, Scott H. What's up, Scott? You trading MLGO or what, Scott? We got Mithan, Matthew, 1320, Wolf, Darwario, whatever, Ponzi Fonzie, 1320, Stock Up, Gorev, John H, Jesse Munson, as well as Fiddleback and Borahout, Chris Starr, what's good, my peoples, to you as well, TH number 3, shout out to you as well. We got Why Not, we got Bonjamin, we got Kirby, we got Patrick Van, and we have Hey Davis. Hey to you as well, my friend. What is going on over there, Adara?
Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest, today this was a spicy day for me so far, and I've really only taken one trade. The trade, it was not a winning trade, but I'm happy with what I did with it. This NVIDIA, I wanted to go short. Okay, well, initially, what I said was, Sharif goes back from his walk, and I said to Sharif, I said, if I miss this flat bottom break in NVIDIA, I'm going to be displeased as punch. Direct quote. No word of a lie, that is what I said.
Could.
That's what I said.
She did say that.
So I saw this, I was like looking at this, I figured basically once we had that VWAP projection, I realized I wasn't gonna get what I wanted here. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to get back in this though, by the way, because we kept projecting 20s. But basically, I realized I wasn't gonna get what I wanted, and I said to Dara, it's fine. I come back, do some, you know, take some little photos for the week ahead, which you remember to check that out. But anyways, so I took some promo photos for that, come back, I see a video below 124, I liked what I saw in the book at the time, got involved, and this was a planned ad. I said, we'll add if we get to that 124.20s and reject. We did. I added. But then, basically, what occurred was I was kind of like, you know, I didn't really love what I was seeing in the book, so I de-risked half at 124. I thought we'd break lower. We didn't break lower. We got to 124.20s with the viciousness, broke above it, got out. But we still can't get above 124.20s in any way other than like a little, like I thought we had the viciousness. We didn't. But then I have to have the viciousness to take it short again if we're still below the 90 MA, if we're still below that flat bottom break level. I owe it to myself to take this trade. Man, do I have confidence. And I want to shout out Obi and Sean this morning with their Amazon trades. They committed to those trades, and it Express delivered them some profit in 24 hours or less because it's Amazon, so it gave them nice profits there. Shout out to the Amazonian and Sean, to borrow Sharif nickname. Also, I'm going to shock everyone and look at a name I don't think anyone would expect me to be looking at. It's going to be Rivian. Rivian in that $14 level. I was listening to the conference. They didn't say much. I learned RJ's son's name is Maximus because he named one of the platforms Maximus and then said, I like that name. It's actually the name of my son, which is one of the strangest comments I've ever heard, but that's not the point. Shout out to RJ. I do think the guy's really cool. Basically, we keep projecting 14. I'm probably not going to get this short, but I'm keeping Rivian on my mind because I might have to hop into that R1. Micron also rejecting the 90 MA, so I have a couple things in mind. NVIDIA, though, is really the big, that's my big kahuna. It's my big white whale trade. What are you looking at?
Did he say anything about the R2 or the R3?
He just, like, they talk generally about, like, oh, this is our automation, this is our engineering. I feel like it would make sense if you are a tech person. It made little to no sense to me. I'm going to be really honest with you.
All right, so we got nothing from that, I guess. It's kind of crappy. All right, let's have a look at the small cap gappers du jour before we start the lesson here, Ram. GOVX is a decent holdover from yesterday. Or sorry, this one is from today. What am I saying? I'll get it right. This one is up triple digits, 114%. Great hold at that $4 level at VWAP. Former area of resistance at 412 and also jives with the volume weighted average price. Nice bounce up there. Good bull flag forming on GovX. Not one that we're unfamiliar with over here. $11.25 million market cap, 51.2 million shares done on the day, and a 2.5 million share float. Let's find out if there is a short float of note on GovX. No, 1.8%, not really anything to write home about. So we'll leave that one alone. GovX, decent. MLGO, this one was a really good one off VWAP initially. If you had that dip, look at that move back up. You got dollars off that. I was actually about to punch into that, but I have a rule, no trading until I'm on the show. So I didn't take this one, but it was good. I watched it in real time. Alas, it did not hold above VWAP, and now we're breaking down below that 20 3/4 area where VWAP is, so keep your eye on that. BlackBerry, an earnings winner, holding at the volume weighted average price at 250. Good pre-market level hold there. The high at 7 a.m. was at 247. It defends 250 quite well. Resistance flips into support. But this is the one that everyone wants to talk about. I won't be swayed otherwise. GUMA is on the way up. GME up a cool, a decent 10% at day's high right now, $26.69 on the way up into 27. The Katina man did alert Adair and I, though, to this $26 level that was holding for multiple days. Alas, usually levels are made to be broken, just like rules, and that level did break. We broke it by some distance, 70 pennies, 69 pennies to the high side. Keep your eye out now, though. That 26 is broken. Keep your eye out for that 27.50, 28-ish area. That is a bottom end of kind of like the range that we were in between June 13th to June 17th when we broke down below that level. So I'll be looking to see if it comes in. So much so do I like said level. Let's front run it and put an alert at 27.43. So if it gets into there, we'll have notice about it. Let's flip back to the 5 on that one. I mentioned BlackBerry, Kala, K-A-L-A, doing awfully well as well. This one, it's been a bit of a tougher trade if you've been using VWAP as kind of your line in the sand for the breakout trades. It's up 40%. It's a decent move, but it's above VWAP sometimes and below some other times. Kind of hard to gauge this one, but the trend is very clear. It's higher highs and higher lows, so there's no arguing with that. The only other thing I don't like about this is the range per candle is quite wide. You can see multiple candles of indecisions, really high wicks and low wicks with very small bodies. That is a thing that keeps repeating over and over and over, and I don't know why. So we'll keep an eye on that one. It seems to be respecting the 20 period. If I really had to, choose a moving average or an indicator, it does seem to be finding some support at that 20 period. DAKT, last but not least, a holdover from yesterday, and you can see what this one was doing. It did it in the pre, it did it after the bell, and then it fell asleep at around 11:30 because it became awfully consolidative. The higher end of that consolidation range, or later in the day, is at 13.5. Lo and behold, we are at a 13.51 HOD on the day. So that level absolutely holding on the day. This level over here from 310, that high, basically. So we'll have to keep an eye on DKT. Those are the 6 small cap gappers. I'm sure I'll add and remove from them, but we'll talk about the large caps once we're done the lesson, but we'll send it to Adair and make sure she's all good there and nothing you want to tell us about.
Yeah, I'm still scalping this NVIDIA. Basically what I'm doing is we're doing, I don't want to say rinse and repeat because I'm still in it, but basically I add when we get above 124s, we get below or at 124s, I take some out. We get above, I add, I take some out. There's still like, a nice little seedling of an NVIDIA tree that I'm watering and then taking an apple off of. I guess it's an apple tree. I don't know. The point is I'm in this trade. I'm nurturing this trade. We are, for whatever reason, attached to 123.90s. If we can't break below this soon, I may just get out of the whole position. But right now, pleased as dang punch, to be in NVIDIA as of right now. And I mean, hey, NVIDIA, you want to stay below 124? I don't mind. I have enough shares to make me happy right now. So I'm smiling, and I'm also smiling because I love learning. And we're gonna have our
I want to read what Chris M.A. wrote. I think you might like this. The mustache is growing on me. Yeah, I like that pun.
I love this pun.
Shout out Chris M.I.A. I don't know if it's Missing Action or Miami. Mike Boston, Sharif, you need a hat so you can go full Super Mario with mustache. Thank you for the recommendation, but my name is not Sharif, it's Sharif. All right, so let's get to the lesson, Ram. We're doing average true range all week long. Today is really the last kind of lesson. We're gonna talk about a trading technique. Tomorrow we'll talk about the pros and cons of the average true range. Today is the last one. Today, we're going to talk about using average true range for your trailing stop. So traders, rejoice. We are diving into the trailing stop savior, a technique that uses average true range, ATR for short, to lock in profits while giving your trades room to breathe. Let's see how to transform your trailing stops from villains to heroes. So the trailing stop struggle. This is a struggle. You know, Neil uses them often. I personally don't. I use trailing stops more of a mental stop rather than hard stops. But trailing stops are absolutely fantastic for locking in profits if you use them correctly. But setting them too tight can prematurely exit a winning trade. And conversely, setting them too loose can help you, or can leave you, I should say, vulnerable to sudden reversal. So how do we fix that issue? So ATR to the rescue. The ATR, your intraday volatility meter, can be your trailing stop savior. Here's how to use it for dynamic stop loss adjustments. So the trailing stop formula is what we've been talking about. It's a derivative off the formula we've been using all week. So you're going to combine your trailing stops with ATR. Here's the basic idea. So you're going to set an initial stop loss using the stop loss buddy formula that we talked about 2 days ago. If you weren't here for it, super easy to go back and look. It's covered in a previous lesson. So as the price moves in your favor, gradually trail your stop loss a certain distance behind the price. So here's how you're going to do it. So use the ATR, the average true range, to determine the trailing distance. Multiply the ATR by a factor of, example, half, 1, 2, to establish this buffer. We've been talking about the multiplier, this factor, all week long with ATR. This is kind of the real nuanced part of using average true range, is how you incorporate the multiplier. The multiplier is reflective of the market conditions, the instrument that you're trading, and your specific risk appetite for trading these instruments. If you have, if you're less risk averse, you use a smaller multiplier. If you're more risk, or if you're less risk averse, use a larger multiplier. If you're more risk averse, you're going to use a smaller one. So just keep that in mind. So you're going to basically use the following. So here's an example in action. Imagine you buy a stock at $30 and you set your initial stop loss at 28 bucks, okay? Using the stop loss buddy formula that we already talked about 2 days ago, which is lesson 3. So the ATR here is $2. You know that, right? You use the multiplier of 1. The ATR is 2. So you're setting your stop at 28 bucks because you got in 30. Now that we know that, okay? Now you have to use you have to determine your trailing stop. So in this case, you're going to use a factor of 0.5. You used one before. Now you're going to use 0.5 for your trailing. So if the price rises, say to 35 bucks, you got in at 30. Price moves up to 35. Now your new stop loss becomes 33.50. How does that done? So your original stop, it's going to be basically your original stop that you see, $28 plus $5, which is the move. You're going to multiply that $2 ATR by 0.5, and then you're going to get basically that new number. So keep that in mind. Yeah, super easy to kind of reorganize the formula. It's the same thing, just with different numbers in this case. So the ATR to the rescue continued. Volatility matters in these particular cases. The beauty of ATR is its adaptability. If the market becomes more volatile, which is a higher average true range, your trailing stop automatically increases its buffer, protecting your profits during swings. Conversely, in calmer markets, a lower ATR, your stop loss trails more tightly. And that's kind of what we're looking for there. So what are the benefits of using average true range as a trailing stop? Well, first and foremost, all trailing stops help lock in profits if used correctly. So as the price moves in your favor, the trailing stop ensures you capture a portion of those gains. But it's also really good for volatility awareness. The stop adjusts to market conditions, so offering greater protection during those more volatile periods. And flexibility, that's another one of the benefits of average true range. You control the trailing factor, right? Allowing you to customize the balance between profit protection and giving your trade rooms to run. By this, I'm talking about the multiplier, that 1, 2, 0.5, whatever it is that we've been talking about the past few days. This multiplier really is the kind of the more wild card part of using the average true range, Okay? And remember, guys, as we've been saying all week long, ATR is a historical measure. It is a lagging indicator, not leading. So make sure you are using it with that in mind. Price can reverse course even with a trailing stop, right? Consider other technical indicators for confirmation before adjusting your stop, right? Keep your eye on the market, news, catalyst. Make sure, you know, if you're trading one of those Mag 7 names, you've got an eye on the future as well. And just a quick bonus tip here, backtest your trailing stop strategy with historical data to find the trailing factor, that multiplier, that factor number that we've been talking about, that balances profit capture with risk management, and that works best with your trading style. Hope that helps, guys.
Yeah, with everything in life, practice does make perfect, and it's the same for finding the ATR that is true to you. Because it's not just the average true rate, it's just, is it true for yourself as well and for your trading style? So shout out. Thank you so much, Sherry, for preparing that lesson of the day. I will shock absolutely no one and say I have been involved in NVIDIA. I got out of my initial NVIDIA position. It was actually larger. I think it might be the most shares I've ever taken in NVIDIA. I want to clarify, I felt confident in it. I was qualmless about the share size, but basically, like I said, my level was going to be that if we broke decisively above 123 in a way that was, to shout out OB, distinctly different. If I was like, if I get that distinctly different 123.20 breakout, I'm going to be out. We get to 123.30, and I'm like, okay, Dara, should be prepared to leave. I say if we flip from resistance to support at the 123.20, like if we come back and we bounce off 123.20, that's where you leave. We came back, but we rejected. So I said, Adara, stay here, breathe, be chill, be calm. Basically, I ended up getting out. Like I said, weird resistance that we're trying to break, or sorry, support that we're trying to break right now at 123.90s. That's why I got out of the original position. I think my average was like something like 124 like 15s. So what I did was I took out a portion at 124.05s, portion at 124.01s, and the remainder at 124.97. So that was what I did with that position. I was going to add more to this NVIDIA position. I still might if we get back to 94s, maybe to give that the option because I did de-risk quite a bit here. But we have my breakdown that I wanted. Last time, what's the low of day? 123.16. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get that, but I would love to see us break below 50s. I'd be pleased as punch. It's a really small position right now. This is more just for me getting back in because I still saw what I was looking for. Happy I got it where I did with that initial position, but sometimes you got to add when you see some stuff that you like. So let's watch, let's wait, let's plot, let's scheme. Shout out to it, great furthest thing for some reason. But I am the furthest thing from unhappy right now in these trades because I came in confident and I said, Adara, you have to be the trader you wish to see. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Hey, you use that previous area of support as resistance? Don't mind if I add here. Let's go. We're going to add, if we break decisively above that 124 and then back into my danger zone, which is going to be like that 124, 124.20 area, that's going to be dicey. I, of course, am always willing to scalp out. I just wanted more shares because that was not the vibe here. So if we bounce off 124s, this could get a little bit dicey. This might have been another little false breakdown, but we're having lower highs in the book, which is why I like this. Let's see if I continue to like NVIDIA. Also, it was really interesting because at the Rivian presentation, one of the women presenting, her name was Vidya, and it kept like throwing me off because it kept saying Vidya, and I was like, please stop. Like, I keep thinking NVIDIA is doing things, guys. But yeah, NVDA, SMCI is high of day, says Zai. So let's take a look at this one for Zai. Wow, SMC fly. Great look here. Bounce off of VWAP, why don't you? Awesome look here for the SMCI. Speaking of flying here, we also do have GME. So I want to take, SMCI, I don't have technicals here. I'm going to be honest. I think this 847 area could be interesting because look, we had those bounces. Then we go a little bit lower here, but we have a doji. We have a bottoming wick tail, and then we pop back up. So 847, that is my level on GME. Let's see, we have, not GME, on SMCI. My level on GME, look at this 25.5. This is holding beautifully. It's also VWAP. If I take GME, and I've taken GME before, it's gonna be super scalpy, and it's gonna be based on a wick, on the book here. My NVIDIA is coming into level, so I'm going to let her cook. All right. And I'm going to visit her. How are you?
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, just took a nice little scalp on Apple. Super quick 30-penny winner. We got short at 213.58 and then covered the majority of it at in the low 20s. This was a 20-period retracement on the 5. It was the first time we had gotten into the 20-period on the day after breaking and closing, not just wicking, breaking and closing above the 10. This was the one right here, and then we had two topping tails off the 20, so I got short there. I actually didn't get the best price that I could have. I actually wanted a bit of a better price, but profitable trade nonetheless. We'll see if we can get anything more here on the dead one Apple. Very nice lower highs, lower lows today. This bottoming tail candle kind of, I don't know. I don't think it's bringing in the winds of change. I mean, we could retrace back into the volume-weighted average price at 214. I'll be looking to get short in and around there as well. Looks like I covered way too early, though, as it's on its way down a little bit more. So right idea, not the best execution, so we'll look to improve a little bit on the execution there. We'll keep an eye on that. I don't really have anything else, really, to be honest with you. A lot of bull flag candles, patterns looking on the Mag 7. What I see right now is a lot of similarity between Meta, Microsoft, and Google. So the top three up here on the top charts, they both had big up moves in the early part of the day, and then they had like this center area kind of, it looks like possibly the beginning of a head and shoulders on a lot of them. Meta has really got a deformed right shoulder over here, but Microsoft and Google a lot more proportion in their proportions. Does that make sense? But anyway, I'll be looking to either play the bounces off VWAP on these names, on Google and on Microsoft, or if they break down, we'll be looking to take the neckline breakdown, which on Microsoft is actually looking really good, really defined over here at around 454.75, 454.50. So this is kind of what I'm seeing, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but, you know, just confirmation bias at this time until we definitely get that breakdown. Looking at the futures, trying to gauge, you know, what we are intending on doing. Well, quite frankly, we're stuck in a range. We're between 20,000 after taking 20,000 and VWAP. Multiple, I mean, by multiple, I mean a lot, like from 9:50 to, 10:50, because it's Central Time, till right now, so the better part of half an hour. All these candles on the 5 rejected off the volume-weighted average price. All of them as well bounced off yesterday's closing print at 20,011. Only a couple did bounce off 20,000. This one is the only one to make it down into 20, but we could be getting there quite soon as we break down now into the low 20,000s again. Here we go in the single digits. 20,000 looks like it's incoming here. There is this price action support, 20,000, as well as that pre-market consolidation area top. This is around 9 a.m. right here. This is the bell, as you can see by the volume candle. So we'll see what the futures gives us, but it looks as if, you know, some of these are setting up to break down, even though they had really good movements to start the day. So I'm going to be watching Microsoft. I personally would like to either take a dip trade off the volume weighted average price, which is getting close to right now, or if it really breaks down below that level, to look for maybe the head and shoulders to form a dare.
Yeah, I am still in NVIDIA here. Every time we reject 124 again, the more I'm like, hey, just chill. But you know, if I don't see a certain amount of breakdown, I'm an impatient individual. That's why I like scalping, right? So I'm like, I need a little bit more wiggle room in NVIDIA. If the lowest you're gonna get around to is 123.65s, someone might have to run away with profit. I mean, like, I'll be happy with that, to be clear. I'll take what profit I can get. I'm really proud of where the mental has been at today. I think it's like, basically what I'm trying to say is if you come in with it, if you have your levels of your confidence, I think you're good to go. And I've always said this as well. I do think I have this conversation with Sharif a couple times here, both on and off camera. I do think sometimes I'm able to trade at my best or just perform my best in life when you know, you get a little bit of something goes a little bit awry. So for me in this case, I didn't get my NVIDIA flat bottom break at 124.20 that I desperately wanted. But I was like, you know what, Adara, then just play off that level for a short. Initially did not do it successfully. I think I was a little too tilted, didn't take enough time to just breathe and say, what's the chart telling me right now? But then after that, was able to kind of get back in the right mindset and use that, well, it wasn't even an L, I just wasn't really able to, well, I guess kind of, the point is, I was able to use that mindset to keep going and keep climbing. There is a message I want to, or something in the chat I want to address here. John H, anyone else short MU today? I was looking at that, John H. I mean, shout out to you. If, oh, that's a nice level. Oh, it's not a chair pushback yet, but I love that 133.51. That is something I'm going to be watching out for in Micron. If we reject that, and I reject that in 90 EMA, I shall maybe take that short 6-cent spread. I can live with that. Micron, I acknowledge if I trade that would be a little bit less of a scalp, and it would have to kind of wait for the whole move to form a little bit more. So I'm just watching my NVIDIA. I have no reason to get out right now. I might add, but I'm not going to add if I don't have my eyes on it constantly. So I'm going to take a look here as well at CMG. which is the Chipotle. It's a little bit of a spicy one.
Ooh.
Since that stock split we had yesterday, 5-cent spread, K Chipotle.
Oh, she pushed back her chair.
That got it. Micron, you don't, not quite yet, Micron. But CMG gets a pushback because look at this. We have this wick up here into 62340s. Are we going to break the downtrend? No, we are not. Keep projecting off that 9 EMA. Much like Micron, CMG is a short candidate for me, but right now my little Nvidia's just doing its thing 21, so I might add and nurture that position because if we ever break down into 60s, oh, it's on.
It's on like Donkey Kong?
Oh yeah. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's on like, it is just going to be on, Sharif. I don't know what to say.
I like it.
But I will be pleased as punch. How are you doing?
I like it. I'm looking at Tesla right now. I don't really have any good trade ideas. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm keeping an eye on Tesla because we've kind of formed this bottom at 195. I mean, the earlier IB lows definitely broke that 195 on a wick basis, but look at these closing prints, all very much near that 195. 195 was also a pre-market, you know, low-end consolidation level. I'm talking about that 194.75-ish area. So if I get in here, I'm really going to have to pack my patience because the range, the majority of the prints are above 195. So let's see if we can get something in and around that area, and then I'll give it like 25 pennies or so. I don't know. I don't really want to go long a Mag 7 name if we're doing this dance on the future. That's the thing. I just don't want to take this level if I'm not 100% convinced with it. Now, I do like this level because we did defend it on the IB low, right? And we are barely negative on the day, so I feel like maybe we can retrace at least into the volume-weighted average price. I'm just thinking out loud here, guys. Forgive me. But yeah, this one looks interesting. I just don't like the weakness in the market, so I'm not going to take it long. I'm going to hold off on that one as we break down again below break even on the day, now negative on the NQ. Yeah, unless we break down below 20,000 or get back above it on a decisive basis, like this to me is not decisive. These wicking candles with very small bodies, these are candles of constant indecision, and it looks like an equilibrium between buyers and sellers at this level. So if I don't have a good read on the market, I'm just not going to take anything long or short. We'll see what we get with some of these Mag 7s later. Let's flip to the small caps now, see what's up. Okay, BlackBerry just broke down into the volume weighted average price. It's been a holdup at that level all day. So let's see what we can do on BB. BB trades on the New York. Let's see if we can get long a little BlackBerry here. And we do get long at BlackBerry. So I'm going to give this one to 46s. So we'll hang out at that level and see if we can maybe scalp a little bit. What happened, Ram? Oh, my position board is not showing, by the way, too. I'm not really sure why that is. I know Elon about snow. I don't want to talk about it, though, because I don't want to jinx it. I know about snow. I know about Pandub. So let's just leave those two bad boys there. We'll get to those in a second. So anyway, I'm long BlackBerry. Let me tell you exactly where I'm long because the position board doesn't show it. I'm long right at 250. I already put my stop through the break end of this area right here at 246. So we'll keep an eye on that. So if it makes a newer low at that level, then I'll let you. Are you not able to talk to me? Okay, I have my thing plugged in. I just don't know why it's not working, Ram. I have my Unity plugged in. Not sure what's going on in there.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was a throw there.
Good.
So, NVIDIA. I want to talk about this. I'm so pleased as punch. I did add at 91s again, and I was able to take this short. I'm just going to zoom in this chart. I am really proud of how this chart looks. This is the type of trading I need to do more often because I've always seen myself as an in and out scalper, and that's fine. There are some trades where I want to do that, but maybe there are times as well where you want to be able to take your scalps them out, and then add back in and keep going. The only name I've been involved in so far is NVIDIA. Pleased to say we are up on the day, and I am ready for some more opportunities and some more trades. Like I said, CMG kind of getting spicy, pun mostly intended. Micron still having, I should really be taking those 9 EMA shorts now that I'm done with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is so far down for the breakdown now where if we bounce off 123.40, that could be an interesting scalp long because we're kind of waffling there. But basically what happened was I ended up scalping out about 50 pennies in the money for the rest of my position after taking some out at 76s. Let's see how we do here on N to the V, to the D to the A. Darwin saying Live Nation and Taylor Swift news. I'm trying to see if I can find that. Because because I'm not aware of that Live Nation and Taylor Swift news. She is the economy, says Darwin. Yeah, unfortunately for me, that is very true. I'm not, my thoughts on Taylor Swift have been made clear. But let's look at LYV and see if we're living over here for that. Okay, not much happening. We got a little bit of a volume pop, but volume here on Live Nation below 300 or just around 300K here. I'm going to see if I can find that news. Thank you for letting us know there about that, Darwin. And also, Tony, thank you so much for the kind words there about the NVIDIA. Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's the type of trading I need to do. It's like once you figure out what type of trader you are, you really owe it to yourself to commit to that and to try to keep growing. With that in mind, yeah, Micron CMG, I would love to take those rejections and take those kinds of trades. We just have BGZ in the chat saying, woo! So, I mean, good, yeah, I feel that. I guess that person is short Amazon, so let's take a look quickly at Amazon, which we know that both Sean and Obi printed on the long side today. This Amazon, we gotta push back, okay. This Amazon short is actually kind of an interesting look. Like I said, I am not at one with Amazon. I don't know what it is. It could be a great look. I get involved, and then for the amount of time I'm in that trade, the trend leaves. The second I get out, the trend's back. So I'm like, I don't know. I know that sounds really superstitious, but it is just not my vibe. That being said, this short could be interesting. Shout out to you, B to the G to the Z. How you doing?
Good. Sorry, it wasn't the first trade, Ram. It was multiple. We had a bunch on Apple too. So yeah, just we're trying to fix the position board, guys. Sorry about that. We'll have that ironed out for you in a second. The Fuge took a dump there as I was fixing my headset. Didn't have eyes on that, but the Fuge. This is exactly why I didn't want to go long Tesla. Exactly why I didn't want to go long anything. Because these candles over here were obvious candles of indecision, but now we are finding support at the exact same area we found support earlier on at that 830 print when we got all the economic numbers. We dipped down into 9,050. We did find some support at around there, moving back into 75. So keep your eye on the Fuge. I'm going to be a very short bias at the moment here to look into some shorting the pops, whether it's, we'll figure out which one we're going to get into. But now that we've kind of decided at least, which side of the fence we want to sit on, I feel a little bit more comfortable doing that now with the MAG-7. I'm still in this trade on BlackBerry. I didn't expect this one to be quick to react off my entry, but it's obviously just a VWAP play here. We'll see if the buyers are still buying at this level. Gorev, CRM is running today a decent pullback to go long from these levels. Let's have a look at CRM for Gorev. Not one that we typically trade on the show and not one that I typically trade either. So we'll keep an eye on that. CRM, great look today for all these names, whether it's cybersecurity or cloud. Looks like it's doing the dance here with the 10 or the 10 exponential. Nice 253 hold right there on CRM, looking to go back into that high of day at 256. It's been up and to the right. Every single print north of 930 has been above the 10 exponential. In fact, that 930 print was above 10 exponential as well. So yeah, this is an interesting area here, Gorev, because yeah, you're getting into that 10 exponential and touching it for the first time since 10:05 on the day. So good luck for you. Let me know how it goes with that. But the Fuge on the way right back down into those lows again. Tesla at lows, Apple at lows. The soft one really just took a dive there to the downside. So the Fuge on the way down. You're seeing Meta breaking that 50 period. Amazon just broke it. Microsoft is below it. Google is right at that 50 period right there. Tesla broke it a long time ago. And NVIDIA just touched 123.07. Great trade, Adara. Beautiful rejections off 124. And we're heading down more, it looks like here, as we test that not IB low. It's the 8:30 a.m. economic data low. Let's call it that. Big Kyle Burdett, 499 super chat. What's up, my guy? Slayed the Cobia and the Reds yesterday. Missed you all. Spy watching for auctions around 450. Shout out to Big Kyle, who was on the water yesterday. He was boating. He was fishing. He was doing things that I wish I was doing currently, immediately, right now. Shout out to Big Spy Burdett doing his thing.
Yeah, speaking of the SPY, I haven't even looked at it. Let's take a look at the big SPY for big SPY per day. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's take a look at the SPY here. S to the P to the Y. Yeah, the itsy bitsy spider crawling down the spout today. Shout out to, I know Obi's made that joke before, but and it's a good one and I enjoy it. Whew, okay. This is interesting to me. Look at this bottoming tail candle and then a topping tail candle here around this 545. This could be interesting. I may have to do some tape scalping here on the SPY because I find that fun. And I mean, you can't say the SPY isn't giving you stuff to look at today. You cannot say that. We had a big quadroon here. I was going to want to say fall, but I was like, I have to say quadroon. We fell viciously below VWAP and we just did not want to come back up. We tried to get above 546 and then SPY was like, no, thank you. So pushing lower here. I want to take a look at Altimmune as well. Someone was mentioning Altimmune in the chat earlier. I apologize I wasn't able to get to that, but I'm going to take a look now. I believe you said you were involved and you weren't really sure where to go from here. Okay, Altimmune struggling with VWAP. I think that's definitely worth noting here, right? We got below VWAP and then we had, to me this is more damning than the fact that we're below VWAP. We had this wick into VWAP at 655 and we rejected. I would say if we don't really hold support here at 645, I think things could get kind of dicey. This could be a little bit of a downward channel. To me, that 655 rejection is not one to kind of to snarf at here or to scoff at here. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Also, it's worth noting, this one did not even initially start moving up on news. It's a rumor. There's like an article going around from the New York Post with regards to this obesity treatment, right? So I would say there's the catalyst to me is not as strong. And then also I have to be honest here, I do not love the look of this daily chart. Why? Look at this massive low support area we keep seeing around 680, 680, 680, 680. Look where we reject at 680. High of day is 690. So to me, this wick on the daily chart, in tandem with what I'm seeing in the intraday, I'm going to be honest, Altimmune, I don't think would be immune from more downside. And it honestly does not make me happy to say. I hope no one gets stuck in this position. But it is, to me, I don't love this VWAP projection. CMG! Sorry, guys. I apologize. CMG, I took this trade, and like I know this is not, I like scalping, this is not really a scalp, but I liked the CMG because, I mean, like, come on, I said I like these rejections. I was gonna risk 15 pennies, made 15 pennies without my position. Right now, we're near low of days. If we come back to 696, if we come back to 63 and we reject, I'll add a little bit. If we don't reject, I'll get out there. Really, though, what I want is a low of day break. I want a nice chip here in Chipotle that I can have some guacamole to dip in there. And by guacamole, I do mean money. I'm joking, this is a really small position, but I'm just having some fun here in this CMG. I'd love to see the thing crack a little bit lower. Right now, bouncing a bit off 80, so I think if we break below that, that could certainly be spicy.
A spicy meatball.
Or spicy, I don't know, spicy Chipotle bowl, I don't know. Good times there, how are you doing?
Good, decent, yeah, in softy now. Looking for a double bottom at that 454. We'll look to scalp this one on the soft one at, where are we long? We're at the whole dollar long, looking to wet my beak at 20s or so. We'll see what we get there. Decent hold at this level on BB, on BlackBerry, but it's having trouble reaching my PT, but it's holding that level. There seems to be a bit of buying, more than a bit of buying at 52s. So we'll see if it can break that level, head a little bit higher. I did wet my beak there nicely on softy, so we get some profit there. Let's see if this one holds. I've already put my out on this one, so it's gonna have to mean revert pretty quickly, or I'm not really gonna give this all that much room. We'll see if we can get like 50 pennies out of this monster here. 454 L long on MSFT. We did do a nice hold of the 8:30 a.m. low on the NQ June contract, 19,954, and right up we go again. So a bit of a defend at that level, unsurprising to me because we did earmark that level. Let's put another beak wetter coming up here on the soft one. Let's see if we get something. I'm put it at 33s. We get, and we won't get upset. Back into BlackBerry, having a lot of trouble right now with 52s, not printing above that 52, despite the fact, that it did hold this level. So we'll see. We're in the money on it, but nothing really to write home about. Obviously, we're like a penny in the money, so it's kind of like a joke. So holding on to the last little piece here on softy, holding on to BlackBerry, keeping an eye on the future, knowing full well this could be a dead cat bounce on the futures. So I'll be quick to get out of the softy trade if I have to, now that I've de-risked it there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in 2 trades right now, which is like I always do, but CMG is just cooking there. It's lightly, we're getting that panini press on the burrito. I don't know how they make burritos. But NVIDIA, I took this long because it's a bit of a reversion. It's a bit of a mean reversion trade, you know, and the reversion can be quite mean. Somebody was saying last week, but I mean, this is something I wanted to try because this 123.40, and to be clear, I actually have this written in my little document I call tickers to look at, which is just my version of a trade journal. And I said, it's like, Adara, you are so comfortable taking mean reversion shorts. Why are you not comfortable taking them long? The principle is inherently the same. Right, so why did I take this? Because I was eyeing that 123.40 level. That's where I got out of the short. 123.40 was holding really nicely there earlier. So when I see that we come back and we have that bottoming tail candle, I say, you know how much smoke I want? All of it. I do want all the smoke, but I only want the smoke into 123.70s. Why? Because that was a massive area while I was in the short here. That being said, NVIDIA, if you don't want to give me more than 55s, like, hey, I understand. We're going to take half out of 55s. I'm aware it's a 10-penny winner, but you know, you want to be able to take those trades and take that profit well you can. I also want to acknowledge, we were talking about this yesterday as well. I feel very lucky to be able to scalp and trade a little bit differently on this floor, so we are able to have lesser fees. I'm able to kind of take these kinds of trades, so I do want to take advantage of that, and I also want to acknowledge how grateful and lucky I am for that opportunity. We did de-risk half this NVIDIA position. This is going to be really tight risk here. If we break below 123.30s, I'm outie. I am outie, but we're holding this level so well that we're going to hope, we don't want to hope, no opium, but we're going to see what we do here. CMG, though, might be getting a little dicey, or diced tomatoes, diced onions, perhaps. But yeah, CMG here, if we, like I said, 63, we stay below 63, I'm pleased as punch. I really want that low of day break, but if I can't get it, I'm okay with getting out. Right now, 10 pennies in the money on this. Already took out half of that position. How are you doing?
It's good. We just wet our beak on Microsoft. Still waiting, sadly, at BlackBerry at 52s. That wall of sellers at 52 really can't be overcome by said buyers. Look at the bid and the ask on BlackBerry. The bid outweighs the ask by a scotch, but not by that much. That's what I was trying to say very ineloquently there. Got stopped out for the remaining beak wetter on MSFT as it did break down to 79s. Still positive on it though. Want to see what this one does. A little zig, a little zag, but if I had to guess, this is a short day right now on the futures because we did get those 2 bottoming tail candles on the future, but another red candle forming right now. So I am very short biased. Now it's just going to be about what I want to wet my beak on for the shorts. Let's see anything coming into the 10 or 20 exponential off which we can get maybe another rejection trade. Nothing quite yet coming in. I'll wait to see if anything better sets up. Right now, I'll just kind of manage BB and see what we get there. Let's flip back to some of these small cap gappers and see what they are doing on the day. GOV. Oh, that was intense in there. GOVX breaking down below 4. If I had to guess, this is a short setup for a 4 rejection. It seems to be, well, I don't want to guess too quickly on this one, but it is below VWAP, so I would either range trade this or take it for a short breakdown trade. BB still, we already talked about that at 52s. MLGO has a bunch of candles off 19. Interesting look here. Not that, you know, I'd like to trade it with this setup, but this area hold in the pre $19 was an area of resistance until we broke it at around 10. So interesting how MLGO flipping and using that now as a level of support. Didn't have eyes on that. Setting up decent. It's about $1 above that level right now. Let's put an MLGO on the side chart. See what it's doing over here so we can get live updates. For whatever reason, my charts don't update it unless I put it on my side watch list there. Kind of a glitch with the system. Trying to hold 20 bucks right now, but a double bottom at 19. We'll have to see if that level gets tested again, but good look there. What else we got? DAKT moving right back above the volume weighted average price, but it really hasn't had a whole lot of respect for these indicators on the day, so I'm unlikely to use it. It's really GME here that's getting my attention because that big move into 26.69, the breakdown below VWAP and a hold of the earlier area. Consolidation top at around 24.90, 25-ish. It ends up holding that area, and then the volume really just dropping off. I don't know who was buying these over here. 2 million candles, 2 million shares, 1.5 million, and then 2.5 million. Then all of a sudden we drop off quite aggressively. So unsure exactly what that was on GME. I didn't get a catalyst on it. I'm looking just to make sure that there was nothing that came in midday. No, not that I see. So kind of a move without a catalyst at this point, and that's always a little bit suspicious. So look at that with a little bit of suspicion. What are you looking at, Adara?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk about my trades in a second because I apologize for that very loud, very enthusiastic fist bump.
It's all good.
Because I'm happy.
Good.
But let's talk about Donnie Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. Hey guys, I'm still in my CRM calls at 2:45. Adara, Sharif, what do y'all think? Dump or hold? It was flying. Let's take a look at CRM to see. Let's see how this one's going. Okay, I mean, I gotta say, today at least, it's fantastic, Donnie Zimbabwe. We are up almost 5% right now on this intraday. What a blast. We're basically at high of day. High of day, I'm seeing 254.83. We're at like 254.50. So great look. Bouncing off that 9 EMA. Beautiful uptrend. Let's take a look at the daily chart. I mean, yeah, like, you know, no advice, right? I have to say right now, what you're like, you said 245 calls, we're at 254. So to me, that's a good look. And the daily chart is a great look as well, I have to say, Donnie Zimbabwe. Look at all the support. We had that little chop and turn at 230, blasted higher. The area that I would have argued would have been maybe resistance is that 245 where you had the call. But look, we get to 240, then we blast off, right? Like to me, I have to say, and again, not advice, just my take on the chart, this is a gorgeous uptrend on the daily. And the fact that we blew over that previous 245 of resistance, I don't think is a bad look either. The area that I would say things get a bit dicey is look at this previous support of 267. We're about $13 away from that. That is where I would say maybe things will go, but right now I have to say it's a gorgeous uptrend. That would be my take for you. I'm not seeing anything on the intraday or the daily chart to make this look sketchy right now, Donnie Zimbabwe. Let's also talk about, oh, sorry, we just got a new super chat there. I'll talk about my trades in a second. Thank you so much to Pablo Huise for the $3 super chat all week trying to short AT&T. So let's see what's going on with A to the T. Oh, it's just T. The ticker's just T. Is it on the NQ?
Just T on
Oh, I found it. Yeah. Oh, sorry, the NY, because it was on, it just taking a second to load there. Oh.
Oh, that's nice.
It's an interesting little daily chart. I gotta say, this might, you know, I think we are, I don't know if it's a short, I'm gonna be honest, but I think that 1873 right now, that was kind of supporting the pre-market. We're coming to this, but now we're kind of bouncing off VWAP in the 9 EMA, right? So that 1873 area, if VWAP can't hold, that could be interesting. Right now, though, all I'm seeing is a pretty nice uptrend in the intraday, but you said all week. So let's take a look at the daily chart, see what levels you're liking on the AT&T. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it's definitely on an uptrend here for sure. I would say that 1835, if that doesn't hold, that would maybe be a little bit more weakness, because look at this 1834 and how well this held up, okay? This was, to me, this is definitely resistance. Because we got here, we had this wick above, then we quadunked, then we hit, oh, this is beautiful, the 17.6. Look at the support, a little bit of resistance, then tons of resistance coming back to April. So to me, that 1760, 1840 area might be a little bit more interesting. Right now, all I'm seeing is a pretty gorgeous look here. If we don't bounce off that 1840, 1835, that could be a little bit of a downtrend move. But I do want to talk about the two trades I had quickly before I throw it back to Sharif so I can explain the weird fist pumping and the weird that was going on off screen. So NVIDIA, I took a long scalp. I ended up being profitable on this because I took profit on half at 233.55, got in at 123.55, got in at 123.45, and then so got profit on half, took the rest out flat. I just realized it was going down. Happy I got it where I did, because I was risking into 30s and I definitely would have lost. That's why I'm trying to read the book more. It's like if I see something I don't trust, get out of that. NVIDIA, though, if we keep bouncing off 45s, this could be a long, but I will only be scalping it. CMG. Took this short here. I said I wanted low of days. I got my low of day break. Trying to scalp here at 62, 67s. But the issue was the spread on this is a little bit wider, so it made it a little bit harder for scalping. Once I realized we kept climbing back to 80s, I took it out there. Happy with that trade. If CMG wants to reject 80s again, I'll get involved. But someone just fist bumped. So
I took a short on Tesla. So now that I'm quite not confident, but you can never really know what the futures are going to do because any day or any minute you can get new catalysts. But you can kind of gauge what they're doing, and look, it's a bit of a bamboozling assessment. This future, a lot of bottoming tail candles off this very clear area of support. I'm talking about that 7:30 a.m. candle Central Time, 8:30 Eastern. That's when we got all the economic indicator or economic numbers. We got GDP, we got preliminary jobs, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we reacted to that. The reaction area low is where we have a quadruple bottom on the 5-minute. So I'm looking that we're at day's low. And then I'm also, so that is obviously bearish. But I'm also seeing these umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles show up at an area of clear support. So I'm unsure if we flat bottom break here or we curl up, right? And that's kind of the look. That's why I'm a little hesitant. Now, that didn't stop me from getting into the Tesla trade. Since I was bearish to begin with because of that, on a scalping basis, not on a full day basis, I waited till Tesla got into the 10 exponential and then rejected as I anticipated it would, and it did that like it had been doing it all day, and then we were able to take 30 pennies on it super quick, more actually than that. What I got? Yeah. Oh, 30 pennies. 30 pennies on TSLA super quick, but it did actually end up giving me way more because it did come into that 50 penny level. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm going to keep rinsing and repeating this type of trade. Like, for example, Apple is kind of setting up in the same way that Tesla is, in the sense that all the pops into the 10 exponential or the 20, take your pick, are rejecting. So that's kind of a rinse and repeat style strategy. Until it's not, right? And then you're gonna have to sniff out the winds of change, see when they're coming, and be ready for it. The other thing is seeing a bit of a double bottom form here on the soft one, 453, acting as a local area support, not an area that I had earmarked, not an area that I see a whole lot of interaction with or an obvious area of support, so I'm less likely to want to use anything off 453. In fact, I'd be looking to short. So if this weasels its way back into 454, which is where the 10 exponential is hanging out, I'm likely going to short this if the future continues to do what it's doing right now. So nicely happy with those trades. Now let's check on that other trade that's been doing bupkis, and it's still doing bupkis. That 252 seller is just too strong for the buyers. Look how long we've been consolidating below this low, 1127. It's now 1153. So, you know, the better part of almost half an hour now, we haven't been able to break 252 despite the umpteen amount of touches at that 252. Now, I got to tell you, the sellers now on the book overwhelming the buyers at 52 versus the buyers that are at 51. That wasn't the case about 10 minutes ago when I looked last. In fact, most of the New York book and the NYSE orders were in the single 100s. Now they're like much, much larger. So unless a hidden buyer is going to come up here and push this bad boy through 252, I got to tell you, I don't like this position on BB anymore. I'm in the money on it, but I'm just too stubborn to close it. So I want to see if it breaks. I've got my beak wetter at 54s, but that's my look. Tommy 11, what's your look on NVIDIA? My man, I have not been trading NVIDIA today, but over here, there has been a lot of NVIDIA trades, Adira. Give Tommy your look.
Oh, I would love to give my look, Tommy. Yeah, I mean, I've been trading NVIDIA up a storm. I like those dollars there. Thank you.
Katina Man dropped it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Sean, are you in NVIDIA right now?
We're long Amazon 195.
Oh, he's long Amazon 195. Shout out to Sean there. Yeah, NVIDIA here. My level on NVIDIA, I'm getting out. I tried to take this scalp long here, and I just, we're going to try to get out of it. Yeah, there we go. Basically, I still took profit on that trade, to be clear, because I got out 60%. Basically, what I was noticing with NVIDIA is we are having higher lows. We had this base around 123. Then every time we got to that 123.40, which was an area of resistance previously, resistance support can flip-flop. I was trying to take that trade off the book. I should have taken everything out where I did at 123.59 instead of holding a piece for the dream, but held a smaller piece, still took profit, and look, we're bouncing right back up here. So to me, honestly, right now, NVIDIA is a scalp. Until NVIDIA can break above 123.60, which to me, like, and honestly, I want to be clear, 123.60 was not even a level that we had on the way down. The level on the way down was 123.70. So 123.60, for whatever reason, certainly forming as a little bit of resistance, what you will. That being said, we're still holding up 123 right now. I think it could be a little bit more of a range and a scalp basis until we have a decisive break either below into that 123s or above into that 123.60. That is my look. Thank you so much, James Knapp, for the $10 super chat. Great look there. First, yeah, let us know if there's a message you have, because I'm not seeing a message here. But shout out to James Knapp. I very proud I did not take a nap this morning, because I almost did. But great look there to James Knapp. Shout out to you. Also, I want to address, I had this SPY trade here for like half a minute. Literally half a minute. Got out because I realized that, Dara, you don't have the confidence. I was initially going to risk into 545.15s. Then I was like, Dara, if we can't stay below the 545s, to be clear, I wanted this kind of little choppy, churny breakdown. Why are you even here? So I just got out there, took a bit of a paper cut, but that's not going to get me down. You just put a Band-Aid on that paper cut, and you keep on trading. I also want to look quickly here at Nike, because Gaurav was mentioning Nike. Nike does report earnings tonight. Shout out to Blonde, Frank Ocean 2016, because every time I hear Nike, I do think of that album. Great look here great look for Nike here on the intraday. However, look at this bottom or this topping tail candle we're getting here at 94.50s. Now we're kind of breaking below the 90 MA. This could be a little bit of a dicey look here for Nike. Right now, though, it's just running to the upside, lacing up those cleats and trying to push higher. Let's take a look at the daily chart. We know China sale weakness was an issue for Nike, so we're gonna have to see what they do in China. China will also beat a lot of minds because, you know, China, we got the debate tonight as well, so that could be kind of an interesting look. I should look at DJT as well. But this 93 area holding really well, 93.50. Let's see what 93.50 does here. Slightly higher highs here and some support at 93, so that'll be an interesting look. I will say Nike in a bit of an uptrend right now, in my opinion, as long as it can hold that 93.30. What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at Boeing. Big Kyle asking me if there was anything for Boeing, and there is. There's one good, one bad, Kyle. Take your pick as to which one you want to see. Here it is. So the first one that's good, the F-18 or the FA-18, I don't know why they changed it, Fighter Attacker. Super Hornet, which is the newer F-18, upgraded ahead of schedule. Possibly. That came in at 10 o'clock. This one came in much earlier, though. The NTSB sanctions Boeing over release of 737 MAX investigation details. So apparently they released it and they weren't supposed to, something like that. Unauthorized release of the 737 MAX. This one says vis-a-vis Benzinga. So one good, one bad. Obviously, I think the good one outweighing the bad one, because up 1 1/4 on the day, Kyle. So let me know what the look is. They're selling off, he says, so we'll see. Look, I've set up a short position here on MSFT at 454. I'd like to short this level, especially if we reject off 20,000 on the future. So I've set it up at 90-ish to be able to get filled because, you know, softy, a bit of a spready one as well at the moment. So I may or may not get filled. It came like 2 pennies away from filling me, and now it goes into the 50s. So that's kind of frustrating there. Looking for a 50-period exponential retracement on MSFT and a rejection of 454. 454 also happens to be support level resistance level 1 on pivots. It's also the area rejection low at 950. So if we get into that level, I will give it to 454 1/4. So I will have to give it some room. It's going to be to this area crest. If it breaks above that area crest, that's a new high and the trade is invalid. So right now, it keeps dancing up into my level into the high 80s, the last not printing me at in the low 90s there. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's see how BB is doing. Oh, crap, I'm short Tesla at this level. Oh, nice, I have a good short. This was another unclean stop, Adara. I just got lucky. We just took like 30 pennies on Tesla from a mistake. Oh, boy. I'm going to have to get a lot better than that. That's just a mistake by me.
But you also took pennies on your actual plan trade.
I did. I did a good plan trade there, but this was a mistake. This was an unclean stop. Yeah, that's not good. I'm not going to celebrate that because that's just, you know, like that could have got me in trouble. So anyway, I'm not going to cry over spilt Tesla. Anyway, okay, so 253 on BlackBerry, Adara, finally. So that 252 seller got taken out. We've been watching 252 reject over and over. There is 254 now on the ask. And that's where I'm sitting, baby. Give me those 254s. I'm ahead in line. I've been waiting for that 254. I'm first in line. Let's go. Come on. 254s we won on BB, baby. Up 15%, 14.93. Great, or was a great Canadian company. We don't even know if they do anymore. Brendo and I joking at the big desk that, what are they? An Internet of Things, cybersecurity company, handheld mobile device company. What the hell are they? I don't even know what they are anymore, Dara. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll give us some indication as to what they're going to do. But right now we're trading them and we don't really care. Oh, I'm trading them and I don't really care. Mr. Long Shorts, CRM with a nice break out of the daily range. This morning we were looking at CRM for somebody else, and I'll look at it again for you. Over here, there it is. It broke higher, and it held the 10 exponential yet again on this one. So we've been yapping about the 10 and the 20 exponential on the deeper and the more shallow retracements. CRM, just too bullish, just too strong on the day. Shout out to the Benny Hoff and the boys over there at Slack and Salesforce. 256 HOD, or change, 256 and a fifth, excuse me, HOD. I mean, there's really nothing to do here but to get long at the 10 exponential. Otherwise, you know, I'm not punching in at high. Excuse me, not punching in at highs. And yet again on Black Bear, we come into 254. I don't get filled, and it comes all the way back into 251. So frustrating because I know I was sitting there for a while. But we won't complain about that. Let's see what else we got. Softy coming into my area, but not filling me quite yet. How long do I have to wait in the low 90s here to get the short on the soft one? We'll see what we get there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what you get. I do want to shout out your trade on BlackBerry there and your trade on Tesla. Shout out to Sharif. So happy to be trading with you every single day.
Yes, ma'am. Likewise.
Oh, thank you. I just did that shocked face because Tesla, like, ooh. Tesla, what are you doing? I got long
Get
Tesla.
Get it, Katina, man.
What? Pardon?
The Amazon's flying.
Amazon Dollar Club. Yeah. Oh, let's take a look at Amazon. Yeah. Whew. Express delivering some profit to Sean over here. Look at that bounce at that 195s. Great look there for the Katina man, as we do call him. And I hope he and his team have a great time on their. Also, I love that my brain thought I was in NVIDIA. I'm not in NVIDIA. I'm in Tesla. But yeah. But please vote. I literally just meant to say that. I'm so kicking myself for that. Thank you, Ramin. Please vote for tickers of your choice. Go in the chat right now, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers you're fancy, whatever you end up putting in there. The top 5 tickers are going to be discussed by Sean and Obi. With the Shonfidence, the Obi-Wanfidence there in the afternoon show. And Sharif will be at the green screen. He will be discussing what those stories were and why we're talking and why people care. So if you want GME, AMC, NVIDIA, Tesla, any ticker of your choice, you put that up right now. Also, watch the Freedom and Wealth podcast. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
The episodes come out every Saturday at 10 a.m. They make me do a lot of reflecting. Well, I do like my morning podcast and makeup. So shout out to Freedom and Wealth. Also, I just want to quickly explain why I got long Tesla. I got long Tesla at that 9 EMA bounce, but that wasn't my only reason. We also had a bottoming tail candle. And the other reason I really liked it is because Tesla was, look at that rejection we had here at that 195.20. 195.20 was going to be my area for a short, so I said to Dara, if that flips from resistance to support, you got to flip up your approach to the trade. You got to go long. Like I said, I really struggle having confidence in longs, and I think it's because my mindset isn't there as much, but you got to get the mental right. Please, just punch. I took out half at 40s because it was struggling with 40s. I'm really like, Tesla, you want to stop struggling at 40s? I'm blessed, please, just punch. I really want us to hold 20s. If we break, I'll get out break even. I have no qualms with that. I am qualmless right now. I am happy, and I want to hear how you're doing here in your Mr. Softy.
Well, we just took 20 pennies on the soft one. Again, shorted. I got long earlier, actually. We're going to keep an eye on this one because I'm not going to let it go against me now that I've wet my beak. But Katina, man, the reason I was looking at you is, can we give the people a preview of what to expect on the pod?
Oh, it's stuff with Kevin O'Leary.
It's stuff with Kevin O'Leary. Anybody who wants to hear what Kevin has to say with the Katina man and the Brendo, we already saw their interview earlier on. Get ready for episode 2, a more detailed version of that. Kevin O'Leary spitting hot lines with the Katina man and the Brendo on the Freedom and Wealth podcast. If you're not subscribed to it, get into the YouTube right now. Into the YouTube. I sound like Obi on the Amazon. Get into the YouTube and subscribe to said podcast and get notified every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. when they do drop that. Shout out to the big boys there, always doing the absolute most in an absolutely good way. Shout out to him, and I hope you enjoy your vacation. Obviously, next week goes without saying there, Katina man. Where are you going?
Just around Ontario.
Just around Ontario.
Well, my
the Okay, so the Ms. Katina, and a lot of people know her in the chat as Marissa because she's obviously there shouting out her man. She is from North Bay, and so they're going to be moving around Southern Ontario. So shout out to him, guy. All right, so I'm sitting there waiting for the beak wetter coming in softy at 55s, but I'm going to be very careful with this trade because the future is back above 20,000, and I don't want any smoke if the future starts pumping to the high side, being in a Mag 7 name. Going to keep an eye on this one, Adair.
Yeah, I was literally just looking at Microsoft thinking, oh, that's a good short. And I was like, oh, right, Sharif has that short. So shout out to you there. As you always say to me, hope you print.
Yes,
hope that USB drive is loaded up with some great trades. And you take that one through the Bill Gates to the downside. Bill Gates
sounds good. Yeah,
so look
good
there.
at that.
Yeah, so NVIDIA. Like I said, NVIDIA was always going to be very spicy to me at 124. That was a level I liked yesterday. So it comes back today, and you know how much smoke I want on this. Just about all of it. Sean says a lot.
He said a lot.
I second that emotion there, Sean. But let's see what we do here at 124, because we can't break above it. I mean, we have this bottoming tail candle. We're in a bit of an uptrend. Like, if we bounce, I'll take the long, but I'm not taking anything. I am taking diddly until I see that break above 124. If we break above 124, you might ask, Adara, what would be your game plan? I'll tell you. I have my levels
Get him,
in
Adara.
NVIDIA from yesterday, and they still hit today, so we're going to keep going at them. 124.25, we take out some profit. 124.55, we take out some profit. Then we get 70s, then we get 124.95, basically 195, but we can't get any of that till we break above 124. So I am going to shock everyone and just say I'll be watching the NVIDIA book from here on out. However, I do want to look at GME because GME here. Gimme never gets unless you're a GME shareholder, in which case you are getting some right now.
Yeah.
Look at these bounces off of VWAP. This is a great
it's back.
look. Oh yeah, it's
GME
back
is
better
back.
than ever. But if it rejects this 2580, I'm gonna have to hit up for some shorts because look at this topping tail candle here. Now that being said, do I want to step in front of this giant freight train? No. No, I value self-preservation enough to not want to do that. But I do like this topping tail candle. I like that we had this top and turn at 26 earlier. This could be a lower high, but I do not want to be counting any chickens before they hatch or count any games before they stop.
Oh.
Let's also talk about Tesla.
Is that like a playoff, like the game, as in like a game bird?
Not even, but I love. Like a game, like when you're going for game. I like that, Sharif. Puns on puns. Also, I got, I think I took 45 pennies out of the rest of my Tesla long, so please just punch there. If it keeps bouncing off that 195.20s, I'll keep playing that to some extent, but my big old white juicy whale there is going to be NVIDIA and that 124.
All right. So packing my patience here with the soft one. What I had something to talk about. It completely blanking out, but that's all right. Let's check back on BlackBerry lulling me to sleep. We'll see exactly. Soft one is one that I've got my not my hopes into, but the one that I'm focusing on right now. We already de-risked nicely in front there, waiting at 55s. I'm a little, aggressive in my profit taker there. Because the future is dancing at this level, it's at break even, 20,012. That is the line in the sand from red to green on the day on the NQ September contract. So if we get above there and we really get above there aggressively, I'm going to have to really question this trade. I've moved down my stop from the break of this crest over here into 10s. So if it breaks 10s, I want to lock in profits. That's why I've moved down my stop. But the future is setting up very interesting here. So I may look to the TQQs. This is a consolidation area low where we had umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles at that level. And then we come right back into that level and we're getting a topping tail candle. So this could be interesting right now on said futures to see if we can weasel into a trade right here for this area rejection. It's going to be, yeah, we'll have to see if it rejects or not. I mean, and if it does it wick up, stop you out before it gets you in again? So I'm going to be looking at this level. I don't have to be first into this. That's the thing. I don't have to be first. I just have to participate in it. It's at my level right now. I'm watching it, so we'll jump into it if I need to. But Microsoft, I definitely move down my stop on that one so that I don't get shafted out of my win on this one because I don't want to give back too much. So we'll keep that in mind. Now I'm seeing topping tail candles come in on the dead one at the 20 exponential, and that's awfully bearish for me. So last time I did this topping tail candle dance, look what happened. So here we go. We're getting these topping tail candles going into 213.50, and it looks like it's going to round again to the downside. I have to load up Apple at this point. I'm looking to go short here. If the futures, they got to cooperate though. The futures not cooperating at these levels. Let's keep a look on Apple. Definitely interested in the short on AAPL here. Just unsure how I want to weasel into it. Unreal. What the hell is happening with Amazon?
Oh, Josh Brown apparently bought some more on CNBC.
Oh, then that must be it.
Because the Josh Brown pump is real, guys. As someone who's been in a short when the Josh Brown pump hit, the Josh Brown pump is real. Josh Brown is this guy, he's the Compound Podcast, and he has a Ritholtz Management. He is the CEO. And if he says he bought a stock on CNBC, that stock will go up. Without a doubt, as someone who was short Pfizer, that was a beautiful short, and then Josh Brown came around. I was like, come on, man. Nah, it's all good. All jokes aside there. Shout out to AMZN. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently Joshua Brown buying, oh, it is, yeah, I see, doubled his Amazon.com position. Calm down there, Josh. That's a lot of Amazon. Well, he's up big, though, in NVIDIA. He absolutely murked it on NVIDIA. He's been holding NVIDIA for years. He was one of the original people to pound the desk on NVIDIA. And there's that video of him saying so on CNBC a while back, but that's neither here nor there. So let's keep an eye on that. Looks like Apple's really rejecting off that 20 period here, coming back into 213. So I did miss that bad boy, and I'm disappointed with that, because there was multiple topping tail candles, Katina, man. That's why. Oh, he's talking to himself. I thought he was talking to me. My bad. Yeah, so keeping an eye on that. I mean, Amazon is just insane. We're going to have to load this up here, guys. I mean, all right, let's load up the Zon AMZN. Here it is. As you can see, you can just tell there's so much exuberance. Look at the way the tape is moving. Unreal. A lot of tape aggression here. It's on its way to 200. Let's be real. What's the market cap now? Why is it below 2 billion again? What? Why is it below 2 billion?
You mean 2 trillion?
Trillion, sorry. Did it lose from the high from yesterday? No, that's so weird. How come my thing says it says 1.99? That's so weird. Everybody was reporting that it was ahead of 2 trillion yesterday, so I'm a little confused. Elon, maybe the VWAP force be with you on BlackBerry. Shout out to you, Elon. Yeah, I've been waiting for that one. It came into 254s, but I didn't print. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Amazon here because this is moving absolutely parabolically to the high side. And I don't know, if I had to guess, I think we probably see 200 today. 2 1/5 in the green right now. More, sorry, 2 2/3 in the green. We're about to hit 199, Katina Man. The Katina Man, are you $4 in the money here? You went long 195, didn't you? 375 in the money. Shout out to him. Great trade there, Katina Man. Let's see what this one provides. Coming up into 199 a day.
Yeah, it's funny because I also like that Apple short. Now, the reason I looked at it is because you said BlackBerry is lulling you to sleep, and I was thinking, how's the dead one doing? I wish I'm joking. That is actually why I like that Apple short. Yeah. I tried to get involved around 33s. Apple said, no.
Now you don't.
Said, that's okay, Apple. I'll watch NVIDIA. I did lose on NVIDIA. I have to say, part of me was a little bit like, PNL, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, Derek, you're still up on the name. You're still up on the day. You're getting bitter because you took, honestly, a pretty small paper cut on a trade that you liked. So I can't really be like that. You know what I mean? I liked the trade, and I stood with my principles. Why? So the scalpier part of my brain was initially saying get long 123.80, but I said, Dara, if we fail that, you don't really have a level. So instead I used 123.80 as my stop, got involved just above 124 once we got up and had that bounce. Didn't end up working out. We did blow 123.80 and then kind of came right back up like that never happened. So always a little bit disappointing, but as Neil said a couple lessons of the day ago, you have to make sure that you're sticking to your risk management principles. And sometimes if you stick to that, that's even more important than if the trade went well or not. However, NVIDIA, you want to keep making lower highs after that failed 124 break. And I think you know what I'm going to do. It's going to involve some purple triangles on my screen. That's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, the Katina Man's done with his Amazon trade. I just want to let everybody know.
Okay.
Yep.
Sean's done with Amazon there. Shout out to Sean. Killer Cam saying, look at PLTR chart. Yeah, I can see what I think. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a Palantir, and I have to say, I would not say I'm the best at seeing the future on Palantir. But man, this VWAP bounce. Look at this. We come to 2480s. Whoop, to the upside. This is gorgeous. I really like this look here for PLTR. Let's take a look at the daily. This was on the sticky note, right, Sean? Palantir? It was on the sticky note. Was it on the sticky note at 24s?
Well, we talked about it at 24, but I thought the dip into 23.50.
Oh, Sean liked the dip into 23.50, which did not materialize. But great look here. Palantir just bounced off that 24 level in the daily chart. I would like to see if we can get back up into that 25.80s, which we actually maybe could today. We're about 55 pennies away. But also, guys, if there's any stocks you're looking at, for whatever reason, in any direction, should they have volume, you go in the chat right now. GME, AMC, Micron, Amazon, Levi. We haven't even looked at Levi. Let's see what's in the jeans there in Levi Strauss. But whatever ticker you like, whatever tickers your fancy, go in that chat and you pull that up for us and we will take a look for you. I'm going to look at Levi here because I just realized that's an earnings name I have very much neglected. This one came apart at the seams there. Look at this. But we keep rejecting at 1950. We're quite far away from that now, but that 1950 rejection could be interesting. I don't want to say a range, but we're certainly seeing some support and bounce at 1915. So that's about a 35 penny range that I should definitely keep my eye on here. Tesla trying to climb back to that 196. NVIDIA, if you keep rejecting 123.80 again, I'm afraid I'll have to short you.
All right, no lesson of the day with our friend Neil, because he's off on the day, obviously. So we will do the lesson du jour a little bit early today, which is all right. So let's get right to it here, Ram. We are talking about the average true range all week and exactly how you can use it in different scenarios. Today, we'll talk about how you can use ATR to help guide you in your trailing stop placement. So let's get right to it, not a moment to waste. Traders, rejoice! We are diving into the trailing stop savior, a technique that uses the average true range ATR for short to lock in profits while giving your trades room to breathe. Let's see how to transform your trailing stops from villains to heroes. I personally didn't consider them a villain, Adara, but
It's a little bit
apparently the lesson doesn't really like them. So
Let's go thematic.
I know, right? Just a little bit. The trailing stop struggle. So trailing stops are fantastic for locking in profits, but setting them too tight can prematurely exit a winning trade. And conversely, a loose trailing stop might leave you vulnerable to sudden reversals. Apparently, Rivian is flying, says Rob EV, and he has EV in his name, so he's got to be credible there.
Yeah.
No, it is actually up nicely off 13.43 into 14.25. Shout out to Rob EV for alerting me to that. The ATR to the rescue. How do we use ATR here? So here's how to use it. Okay, so first and foremost, the trailing stop formula. So combining your trailing stop with average true range, here's the basic idea. You're going to set an initial stop, not your trailing stop, your regular stop, using the stop loss method that we talked about 2 days ago. If you weren't here, just go back and check that lesson. As the price moves up in your favor, gradually trail your stop loss a certain distance behind the price. What is that distance, though? And that's what we're going to talk about here. So you're going to use the ATR to determine the trailing distance, right? You're going to basically multiply the average true range by a multiplier, a factor, whatever synonym you want to use, 1, 2, 0.5, whatever the factor is, to establish that buffer. So here's an example. Imagine you buy a stock at $30, and then you set your initial stop at 28. Okay, so you had an ATR of 2, and you used a multiplier of 1. You multiply 2 by 1, that's 2. Deduct that from the 30, you're putting your stop loss at 28. So that is the first step. Then now you want to choose your trailing stop. So your factor for your trailing stop, your multiplier, is different than the multiplier you used for your original stop loss, and you need to make sure that you're nuanced with it. So it takes a lot of practice to do that. So because you're choosing a different multiplier this time around, let's say we're going to use 0.5 rather than 1, you're going to get a bit of a different result. So the formula is as follows. ATR, multiply your trailing factor, so it'll be $28 plus 5, and then you're obviously multiplying 2 by that 0.5, so you get that $28 level. All right, so, ATR. So volatility in this case matters as well. The beauty of ATR is its adaptability. If the market becomes more volatile, which is a higher average true range, your trailing stop automatically increases its buffer, protecting your profits during those swings. Conversely, in a calmer market, which is a lower average true range, the stop loss trails a little bit more tightly. So the benefits of using your ATR or the ATR as a trailing stop influencer or guide or whatever is to lock in those profits. As the price moves in your favor, the trailing stop ensures you capture a portion of those gains, and it's also volatility aware. The average true range obviously looks at volatility. The stop adjusts to market conditions or conditions specific to your instrument, offering greater potential during those more volatile periods. And it's absolutely flexible because you've got a multiplier here that is influenced by 1, the volatility of the instrument you're trading, 2, the current market conditions, and 3, your own disposition as a trader. Are you more risque? Are you less risk off, I should say? So depending on how you choose to trade, that should influence your multiplier. So you control the trailing factor, allowing you to customize the balance between profit protection and giving your trades room to run. But as always, guys, remember, average true range is a historical measure, not a guarantee. And essentially what that means is it's a lagging indicator. It is showing you the historical volatility, the historical true range, not the future. But you know, in trading, the future seems to rhyme, not exactly repeat. And the price can reverse course even with a trailing stop, right? Consider other technical indicators for confirmation before adjusting your stop. So make sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's before that. And with this strategy, especially because it's so, you got to really test it to figure out what works for you. Backtest your trailing stop strategy with historical data to find the trailing factor that best captures your risk management along with your trading style. And you may want to try that in a paper trading account or a sim or whatever you want to do. So shout out to ATR there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do find the adaptability of ATR, like this whole week, I didn't really realize how much you could use it with your own way. Like you can use it in conjunction with different factors depending on what your risk management is, right? It's really a nice little adaptable skill for traders. And it's not something you'll get with VWAP is just VWAP. You know what I mean? It's always going to be VWAPing. VWAP, be VWAPing. But with your EMA, you have a little bit of adjustability, right? So it's just interesting how certain things that we use, certain tools can be a little bit more flexible.
Absolutely accurate. 1320 Wolf having his say in there. Put buy limit orders where you would put your stops. 60% of the time it works every time. Stops 60% of the time it works every time? Maybe I misread that. Let me know what you mean, 1320. All right, I'm keeping my eye on the future because we're getting topping tail candles on the NQ September contract into the volume weighted average price. That is very interesting to me as I've got the TQQs here. I want confirmation of the rejection, and I'm taking the future short. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Topping tail candles through the VWAP and into that area consolidation that we were ranging from between 1050 until we broke down at 1120. I'm liking this level. If we reject here, I'm taking the future short. Amazon retracing a little bit right now. Microsoft kind of dancing south of VWAP. Apple on the way up. Apple's a little bit different here, which is kind of Apple and Tesla a little different. They're both coming in to the top side while some of these other ones pulling back a little bit. So I'm going to pack my patience, but I'm definitely interested here on a short on the futures. I'm talking about the NASDAQ or any derivative thereof. I'm not talking about the SPY or the ES. I like this level here. If we break down below this level, I'm going short Adair.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Just the confidence in that. Like, this is what I will do. Also, guys, I know what you guys can do. If you have any tickers you like, you can go in the chat right now. Let's say you want to look at the Qs or any derivative of the Qs. Be like, how did Sharif trade that? We can go over it with Sean and Obi. You can go in the chat right now. TQQs, QQQs, NVDA, AMC, GME, Amazon, BB. Maybe you want to look at that BlackBerry trade. I don't know. Shout out to Mike Lazarinas. Whatever tickers you want to talk about. That's the best part of a democratic system. You go right in there and you put your little vote. Also, NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm laughing like a loon over here. So I know I said I wanted an NVIDIA long. I tried my NVIDIA long, proud of myself for trying. I said if we break above 124, we hold. I try a long. And NVIDIA was like, I can give you the 124 break and I'll hold for like 2 minutes, but I can't really give you anything else. I don't even think we got to 124.10s, guys. I think we went to like 124.09. I was like, oh, we're still gonna hold. Like I said, tried the long, didn't work out, was a little bit like morose about it. Then I hit my P&L because I was like, Adara, what are you even doing stressing out over this? You're still up on the name, you're still up on the day. Calm yourself. So I did. Right now the P&L is tucked away for safekeeping. And I, bless you, Ramin. And I did take a couple different trades on NVIDIA since then. So, because I still at that point thought it was a long, but I thought it was a long off 123.80. Took the 123.80 long into, I wanted the 124 break again, but I was like, you know what, Adara, we get to like 123.95, we run away. I said, Adara, if you can get 95s, be pleased as punch, take your 15 pennies and leave. That's what I did. Then I realized, I think this is a short here. Didn't end up holding as a short, mind you, but I was involved at 123.80s for a bit there, kept pushing it lower. I think NVIDIA now is holding that 123.70 as a support. That was also an area of support that we struggled with in that initial short back to the downside over here. So we're gonna have to wait and see what we do in NVDA, trying to push above 124s again until this has a nice 124 break and we have something that kind of is more interesting to me. I don't want to force myself. I don't want to push my luck. Happy I hit the P&L though right now, because the thing you have to focus on is progress and learning and not sweating over a tiny paper cut on NVIDIA. Like, come on, Adara. Priorities. So there we go on NVDA. Let's take a look at GME. Oh, what's everyone else looking at here? ADB, Adobe, a couple people want to look at there. Let's take a look at A to the D to the B to the E. It's a great look. I mentioned this on Sector Recap. Don't know why this is up, but this CRM, Pan W, a lot of it's software pals, really strong today. Adobe trying to bounce off that 547-ish area. Let's see what we get. Nice 90 MA bounces here though right now. Honestly, all I can say is nice uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. Adobe illustrating a nice, like shout out to Adobe Illustrator, a nice look there. Thank you. Thank you for the button there. Yeah, no Photoshop needed. What a great chart for Adobe. Also, look at this bull flag breakout on the daily chart.
She pushed back her chair.
I think I like the, there should be like a chair pushback animation or something. But no, look at this gorgeous bull flag we have on earnings. And then we get a little bit of a, we have the flag develop after this flag pull, and then we push up. That's a great look, but I hope the TQs are getting down for you.
Get down.
Out.
Yes, I know. I like to make sounds that are odd and off-putting. That's kind of what I do. All right, the VWAP rejected on Softy. We're getting a even day, or sorry, yesterday close break on rejection on Tesla. A 213.75 possible rejection here on what's it called, Apple. I'm not really going to write home about this one too quick. We'll see we get there. I'm short at 78, 74, 78. I've already put my stop through the break. I didn't really want to take any out at this level. I want to see if we curl down, right? I'm more short biased today. That's the whole thing. So I'm just going to pack my patience, see if we can get the beak wetter here. I've put it down in the low 60s. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. Let me just make sure that I have my stop set properly on said futures, and I do. So good. We're going to leave that one, let it work. And if it ends up stopping out, then the market's telling me to go long. So that's exactly what I do. But I got to tell you, I like this look on Amazon, because Amazon, shout out to the Katina man. He took like a 3.5 banger there, and it may be back for some more. It did a bit of a, let's call it a doji candle, a candle of indecision there, and then it did another candle form on the 5-minute chart to make a new high. So looks like maybe Amazon here wanting to test that high of day again on the high of day that it printed earlier, 199 and a quarter, 24s technically. So we'll see we get there, and yeah, we'll see. But Amazon's been very strong. We've been looking for a possible 200 move on AMZN, but right now showing some red candles. But the futures just not cooperating. It's continuing to stay strong. I've already put my out. If I get stopped out, then I will be looking long at these levels. I'm sad I didn't take the what's it called, the VWAP rejection on MSFT. That was pretty clean there, and it gave you a nice 40 penny move, more actually. It gave you almost 60 pennies there to the downside on MSFT. We had a couple of scalps on this one, ended up getting stopped out though for the remaining balance. Apple looks like it's destined here to come into VWAP at around 214. That's going to be really interesting, because that was an interesting area low at 955. We kept, bouncing off that 214 before we gave way at 1015. So if we get into that 214 area, that's going to be awfully interesting, and it could get me short on the dead one at that level. But I got to tell you, NVIDIA's breaking up. Apple's breaking up at these levels, and it's really holding up the futures. So I'm going to leave my position exactly as it is, but I am very cognizant of what NVIDIA and Apple are doing at these levels, and I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So keeping an eye on those. Trader CL, go long or go home, baby. Well, look, man, you know, we'll go both ways around here, and I'm not talking in that way. I'm talking about long and short.
Yeah,
so
good thing. I think it's good you clarified that right away.
Yeah,
So
well, we say that a lot on here anyway, right? Because of the long and short thing. So I think they get it. But yeah, some newer viewers may not understand that reference. Yeah, keeping my eye on that, Adara. But I feel like possibly here the future getting a little bit stronger. But yeah, we still have Apple below VWAP. I wanted to make that clear, and NVIDIA are both below VWAP. So I'm sitting here talking about how they're getting strong, but they're both still south of the volume weighted average price.
Also, I think I want to add here too, for what it's worth, I've been watching NVIDIA like a hawk. NVIDIA just now coming to 124.20s, we've rejected before. 124.20s was huge support and then resistance for NVIDIA. So just be aware, we're at a level that could be pretty key. I'm not getting involved until I see something here. If we break decisively above that 124.20s, which it looks like we're trying to do right now, that would be more interesting to me, but that was a massive level and it keeps proving itself as a level, so I do want to trust it there. If we get that nice 24.30 break and then bounce, and it looks like NVIDIA is trying to tempt me there, so let's see what happens there. Shout out to Ahmed Awala, AED 1799 super chat. I'm long TQQ. Yeah, I mean, let's take a look here at the TQs here. I know Sharif was involved in these. Yeah, I mean, shout out to you, Ahmed Awala. I don't know where you got involved, but that bounce at the bottom there was nice. It looked like it was rejecting VWAP. It did not. Great look. Again, these are not always going to necessarily be as much of a chart thing because they're futures, but I think that rejection at that 74.90 area is pretty interesting. This just reminded me, we do have that auction coming up in half an hour, so I'm going to pull that up so we can get those results. We have a 1 p.m. auction. Whenever I see move down to the futures, I always have this paranoia that I missed the auction. But we're half an hour away, so we're all good there. It's a 7-year auction. We're going to be getting there at 1. So interesting topping tail candle here for the TQs. I'm not as much of a TQ person, but I do like to trade the SPY. And the SPY is also giving you a topping tail candle. I had a trade briefly here. It was just kind of meh. I didn't believe in it. I just wasn't comfortable in it, so I got out. And that's the same, actually, impetus for this Micron trade I want to talk about. I liked it. I watched it a while. We were rejecting 132.70, so I got involved 132.68. I was going to take it down to at least 131.40s. But then I realized I did not like what I was seeing in the book. I was going to risk it into 132, but we were moving with the viciousness I didn't like, so I ended up just scalping it out, getting everything out, lost about 10 pennies. But if we keep bouncing now, if this downtrend wants to reverse, now that we're above the 90 MA, I have no qualms taking that long. So that'll be an interesting look here. Apple getting a bit of a topping tail candle. I just put 3 A's in AAPL, so good times. That's how I'm doing. No, I'm joking. But yeah, interesting look here. Apple VWAP projection. I don't want to take this short without a little bit more confluence, but to me, this is an interesting look. Again, VWAP can sometimes just be a level, but if it comes into play, you always want to check that out. That is for certain. Rivian still popping up here. Rivian revving to the upside. Wow. But Rivian rejecting here at 1440s. That was a bit of an area of support earlier. Let's see what we do here at 1440s. We have this topping tail candle into 1452s, then become a little bit lower. So R to the I to the V to the N is could be on watch there. But yeah, the TQs were a little bit spicy. SPY a little.
I got stopped out for a 10-penny loser on the future. So we're going to have to reanalyze that. And nothing has really changed. A topping tail candle through 214 on Apple, rejecting VWAP still. We haven't rejected it ram, but we've come into it and not breached it on NVDA. But I'm very cognizant of the fact that the winds of change may come. They may come fast and furious, maybe because Tesla looking to go green, now NVIDIA breaching the volume-weighted average price, Apple finding a topping tail candle, but it's not really dictating the market like it used to anymore. So just because Apple rejects doesn't mean the future tanks. In fact, the future's headed up. So I'm happy I got pushed out of that position before getting, murked on it. But there we go. Some winds of change coming here on the future. Now we're going to have to start looking possibly long on some of these names. The Zon right back into that 182, high 80s, looking to breach 199 again. I'm going to be all eyes on 200. But looks like that topping tail candle is coming in on AAPL. Like, look at this. This is very interesting over here. Just selling off the entire thing through the break of VWAP, through the breach of 214. We were talking about this level being a good area of resistance, but you know, the bamboozlement can be real. So the topping tail candle can come in, and then boom, the next candle after that can be a great green candle that ensconces that whole thing. So I'm not going to jump short into Apple too quickly on one tail, one topping tail, because I've seen it before. So I'm keeping my eye here. Let's see what else is going on. Wow, no way we went into 254 again on BlackBerry and it didn't get printed. Like, how long do I have to wait? This feels like a buyout. This feels like a buyout. I swear, it does feel like a buyout. So yeah, it is bullying me, Adira, so we'll keep an eye on there. As I said, Apple right back into 214. So if the winds of change come here, I'm taking Apple long, Adira, so we'll see there. I don't know if you want to do your thing. Do you want to go for a walk or no?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it probably in a little bit, but
yeah, I just want to remind you, because it's 12:30. But yeah, here we go. Amazon right back up again. I'm gonna be looking here on that 199.25 because that is the high of the day at the moment. So Amazon awfully strong. Day number 2 in terms of strength for Amazon. Again, no catalyst on this one, but breaching that true 2 trillion, despite the fact that my platform says otherwise, says 1.99. So I don't know what the analysts are saying, but maybe my platform is wrong. The other thing that I keep looking at here is the multiple rejections off the volume weighted average price on Meta, and it's not even directly off VWAP. It's all south of VWAP in that 518, high 80s, mid 80s, mid 70s, in and around there. You know, that's been accumulating since around 10 after the hour. Another good look here is on Softy because it did reject VWAP, but it's putting a candle of indecision. Ooh, this is so bamboozling time because you don't know whether to look long or short at these levels because the future just took area highs, it's back above VWAP, it's green on the day, and eek. So I'm going to make a decision here. I think I'm going to start looking long, though, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, I took a long on NVIDIA. I know I have been waxing poetic about NVIDIA, but I did say, I believe I said, if I didn't say that, that's on me. But I know I was thinking, like, NVIDIA above 124.30, because that was a huge area of resistance. To me, that proves that the area of resistance I was more into, that, okay, NVIDIA, get spicy here, get spicy.
Kill it.
Basically, NVIDIA, I didn't even care we were below VWAP. That wasn't part of my plan. VWAP, sure, that VWAP breakout, nice little addition. But my plan was always, I wanted to see what we did here at 30s, because holding up on 30s was something I needed to see. That was actually an area, like, to me, if we broke above that area of resistance, 124.25s, and we held, then I wanted my long there. So we're gonna see. We rejected here. I'll take like 42s. I'll take 10 minutes. I know that's small, but I just do not like the way that we had that sell-off. I think as much as I don't view VWAP as a reason to take this trade, the market clearly used VWAP as an area of resistance, and I have to respect that. Because it's not just going to be, I'm not the only person trading here. I am one tiny little trader in a big old sea of traders. So I got to, you know.
Well, I wouldn't call you tiny. You're pretty tall.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I'm just one person, right? I'm just one spec with a small share size there. So let's see. Could it break back up again without me? Or, you know, I could get back in. I'm okay with that. But I wanted to get out for now because I have another position I want to talk about that I do, for now, I really like.
Got it.
IWM. I took this short because we're at this $200.80 area. Look at that support here. I mentioned this actually on the when I was doing the small cap recap because I look at the IWM. This is actually also VWAP, which I didn't realize. That was a massive area of support, a little bit of a range. Then it fell, became resistance here on a wick basis. We come lower, we get above VWAP, we reject, so we come back down. This, I don't know if we're going to keep rejecting this, but I did want to take this short. I'm aware we do kind of have higher lows here. Fully aware of that, only risking into 70s. And not because it's VWAP, although that helps. I'm risking into 70s because A, topping tail candle, and B, see its cousin, the other topping tail candle we got at 11:30. So not one, but two topping tail candles. I'm not going to say confluence because it's not really confluence, but it's something I want to look at. And NVIDIA's laughing at me all the way to the bank for getting out of that long. Let's look at that. Yeah, clearly, I don't know, maybe I didn't have the confidence for that position at the time. Now I would have been like 30 pennies in the money, but it's all good. We come back to VWAP and we bounce, and I'll get in. I also want to watch 124.70s because that was an area of resistance yesterday that, like I said, a lot of those areas of resistance yesterday came back into play today, and this one actually did come back into play today earlier too. Look at that. If you go back to what we were seeing around 10:30. So that could be an interesting look. Right now, IWM, a scintilla of pennies in the money. I'm going to deal with that trade, and then I'll go probably on my little walk. But please just punch with that. And I still took profit in NVIDIA. I'm not going to cry out here over spilt shares. I'm just going to use this trade to motivate maybe like Adara. Why didn't you have the confidence? What was it the issue there? And keep going, keep reflecting. And I want to hear about that.
Bro, your NVIDIA trade is flying.
I know, I'm not in it anymore. But it was a good look.
It's a great trade, Adara, because you had the right call on that, and it's really going here. NVIDIA really breaking in, looking to go 125. I'm short on Apple, already took some profits. Right now, I'm looking to add for the move back into 214. I'd look to take out some more, 2 adds, 2 beak wetters so far. I think Apple's weak on the day until it's not. Topping tail candles through VWAP, to me, yell, weakness. So I took it short. We'll see. We can squeeze out maybe a little bit more out of this one. But right now, decent scalp on this theme. We're finding a little bit of resistance at the 50-point level at 20,000 and 50, moving back down into the low 40s now. Go down, Apple. All right. It just pumped back up as quickly as it went down. I don't like that. No, bro, I'm not good. No.
We're all in this together.
All right, I didn't expect that response. That's why it made me laugh. Anyway,
funny.
I'm waiting for the low 60s on the next beak wetter on Apple. We're nicely in the money right now. Let's see if we get this continuation. But I have seen this dance before where we get multiple topping tail candles through a key area of either support or resistance. It bamboozles you into thinking short or long or whatever, bottoming tail, topping tail, and then the winds of change come on the market. So I hope that doesn't happen to me. Right now, we're about 20 pennies in the money on this Apple short. I'd like something around 50s because that's where the 20 exponential on the 5 is. We'll pack our patience to see if we can get something in and around there. Rivian, millionaire. Dude, I remember you talking about the NQ at 16,000. So do I, my friend. So does Adara. And that's the madness of this whole thing, right? Is that we got up so quickly, it feels like. And it feels like, the breadth wasn't there and kind of still isn't, right? These Mag 7 have been doing the heavy lifting. We all know that. If you've been, in these markets for the last, year and a half, it's been the Mag 7. And it continues to be the Mag 7. I mean, the Russ was kind of cool in the beginning of the year, had a bit of a breakout, diddly squat the rest of the year. And yeah, so that's kind of the look here. And I agree with you, Rivian, man. I mean, it was just not that long ago that we were talking about that level. So that's the look. All right, just packing my patience here with this Apple short. Let's check out on the BlackBerry long. As you can see, multiple moves into 254. None of them have triggered for me because it didn't cross. So we'll pack our patience, see what we get. This one I want to mention, Tesla. Tesla's been at this break-even point for a while now. So the first time we got into it was 20 after the hour. It was about 22 minutes ago. We keep touching this white line, that white thin line, not the thick one, the thin one, at 196.43. That is yesterday's closing print on Apple, so not unsurprising that it is accumulating on Tesla, not surprising that it is accumulating in and around there, but I was looking for either a rejection or a breakout at that level. We'll wait and see. Right now, though, the future coming back down, looking maybe to touch VWAP. So behooves me to put a beak wetter on said Apple short. If we get anything around there, I'll wait around the low to mid 60s. But Apple, I feel like, if it really starts curling back up and makes its way above the volume weighted average price again and makes a higher high above that 1235 candle, I will flip long on Apple. I have no problem doing that. But right now, I'm still feeling short.
Yeah, the song that I feel like echoes how I feel right now is the Jackson 5 classic, I Want You Back. That's what I'm singing to NVIDIA. I was blind to let you go, now that I see you in his arms. I want you back.
Oh, no.
NVIDIA. No, more I feel like that because I got out of NVIDIA, at least partially because I was babysitting IWM, which, what was the point? It's fine. I'm happy. I'm really proud I got out where I did. The second I saw we got near that VWAP, at that $200.70 level, I got out. I managed it okay. I have no right to be singing Jackson 5 over this. Amazon 200.
199.66 is coming up.
Yeah, Amazon getting you that 200. We're gonna pull this up because some people were like, "Can we see the Amazon 200 break?" I mean, we can put it up for you guys. We can see what we see here. Bottoming tail candle galore here at 199. Guys, this is something else. Go, says Sean. And I will say the Josh Brown pump does continue to work, apparently, because he goes on CNBC, he says, guys, I bought more, whatever, whatever. And this pops to the upside. But if you guys want a podcast and watch, you should watch the Freedom and Wealth podcast.
Oh, I don't have that thing. I don't have that button.
Because you have
Rant.
Sean, look at Sean and Brendan. Look how studious and concerned about the markets they look.
They do.
So great look there. We also have the auction. It's going to be the 7-year in a cool 15 minutes. NVIDIA, you want to keep bouncing off 30s, I'll start singing Jackson 5. I was blind to let you go, baby. Because look at that bounce at 124.25. That was my area. Was it a specific area? Possibly, for sure. But it was my area. I do want to go out for my little walk, but NVIDIA's like, Tara, you can't leave me. I'm over here. I'm above VWAP. I'm respecting your level so nicely. You let me go early, and now you're like doing this. But in all honesty, I want to be clear. I don't have any FOMO about that trade. I made money on that trade. I have to acknowledge the decision I made. Me thinking Jackson 5 is just for fun because I'm on a show and we're going to talk. And,
yeah, exactly.
You know, shout out to Jackson 5. So there we go. Arm pumping, says John Szymanski. You could literally be pumping your arm here too. I know Sharif pumps his fist a lot, but I'm sure you could be pumping your fist if you're an arm right now. Look at this double bottom here.
Oh, wow. That's nice looking.
Oh,
and
beautiful
a neckline
look.
break continuation.
And this chop and churn, they make you wait for it. This is to me, this is a false breakdown. Look at all of these bottoming tail candles. Then we get that one topping tail candle and arms like, yeah, I'm gonna fly now. I'm gonna, shout out to Rocky, gonna fly now. Lifting that pull-up bar to the upside. Great look. Now ARB needs to see if it can push above that overhead resistance. That's gonna be at that 166 area. Great look for A to the R to the M. Do you want any coffee or anything?
Oh, I'm good. I'll take a water, though.
I'll get you water.
Thank you. All right, guys, let's have a look at said market. As we've been mentioning, Amazon, very, very strong. And as you can see there, 16 pennies from that $200 level. 199.84 is the high of day on AMZN. Again, no real well, hold on, there is a catalyst. What am I saying? They're going to take on Temu. They're going to take on Shein. They are going to make a very kind of like low-cost style app like Temu and Shein, and they're going to get the products directly from China. It's going to be very similar. Shipping turnaround time, 9 to 11 days or 15 days or whatever it is, and that is obviously going to hurt PDD, JD, as well as BABA. The Chinese ADRs have been quite red today as a result of that. Unsurprising. I wouldn't want to take on Amazon. Amazon's got a reputation of just destroying their competitors. One of the things that the FTC and the DOJ want to look into is Amazon basically poaching people's ideas. They'll meet with a startup and, under the pretense that they want to invest with them. And, allegations have been made, unproven, of course, and that's all they are, that Amazon basically takes the idea and robs the company and basically competes with them, and they're out of business in a few years. So I wouldn't want to be in competition with the Zon. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but if I was one of these Chinese ADRs, I'd be awfully worried because we know that Temu and Shein are working off North American clientele. It's not the Chinese clientele that they're making money off. So we'll keep tabs on that. No scheduled date for that yet, but one piece of evidence that they did give us was when they're going to start accepting applications from sellers, and that's going to be in the fall of this year. So we'll have to, definitely pack our patience there and see how that all pans out. I'm still in this Apple short. I'm still in the BlackBerry long. I've been waiting for this VWAP rejection to manifest on AAPL. There is now 4 5-minute candles all in a row that have rejected off the volume weighted average price. So I don't want to take this out early because if it ends up curling down, I want to participate in the down move. To me, it's worth it to get stopped out as a risk to participate in that down move. So we'll keep an eye on that. Tesla finally getting a bit lower than that closing print, 196.41. It had been dancing there for a while. That print is yesterday's closing price, does now move down into the volume weighted average price, about $1 lower than that closing price at around 195.75 there. All right, come down, Apple, man. Let's go. I've been waiting, and there it is, baby. Yes, we get that fill on the dead one, Apple. Happy with that one. Nice 20 penny winner there as we get that beak wetter. I'm going to look to short this again, guys. at 214. If the winds of change don't come on the future and Apple really starts moving to the high side, I'm going to leave my resting order there for another short on the dead one at that 214 general area. That's going to be my look with Apple. I'm seeing a lot of this rejection of VWAP on the Mag 7. You're seeing it on Apple. You're seeing it on Softy. You're seeing it on Goggles. And you're seeing it on Meta. Obviously, you're not seeing it on Amazon because Amazon pumping. And in fact, right now, you're not seeing it on NVIDIA either because NVIDIA is now straddling the volume weighted average price from the high side, trying to hold up at that 124 1/3, 124 1/4. Good look for NVIDIA there. But I'm basically just looking for what the next trade is going to be. And so we didn't get a 200 breach today on Amazon, but we also don't have another lower low. So let me tell you this. If Amazon comes back into the 10 exponential, I'm going long. Now, it may not break below 199. Right now, there's 3 5-minute candles that are all showing me that 199 is a good support level. Ever since we took it at 12:35, so 15 minutes ago, we've been defending that 199. Now, if we do come in to about 198 2/3, I'm going to be looking to get long off the 10 exponential on the 5 on AMZN. Let's go have a look at our boring position of the day, BlackBerry. We've been looking at that one for basically the entire show. Still in the money on this one. Still a seller at 53. A couple of touches at 54, all of which I didn't get filled because the bid didn't cross. So we'll have to pack our patience with that one. But I'm still, oh, thank you, Adair. I appreciate you. I just got a water reload, baby. So keeping my eye on the Zon, keeping my eye as well on the future. I want to see if we break above that last little move up on the future at 20,060. If we move up and make another high, well, then that will be another higher high above the volume weighted average price, and that's going to change my look on the market. So yeah, that's a look there. I want to mention as well that Tesla, even though it did reject that closing print from yesterday at 196 mid-40s, the range is getting wild here on Tesla. This looks like it's going to be a flat top break if I had to guess. And here's why. Because it is now bouncing off VWAP and rejecting off the closing print. And there's not a lot of distance between those two levels. 196 is VWAP, 196.41 is the closing print. So getting really compressla.
You get all the flowers for that.
Yeah, getting really compressy here between the VWAP and the closing print. So if this one breaks to the high side, I'd like to see a breakout trade take place on this. So that's my look. I'm looking to get in Amazon at the 10 period, but if it doesn't reject 199, I'll get in likely at 199. And I'm also looking for either a breakdown or breakout trade on Tesla. Nothing else really going for me at the moment, Adara, other than to get lulled to sleep by said BlackBerry. Come on, Jim Balseeles. What's the other guy called?
Mike Lazaridis.
Thank you, Mike Lazaridis. Let's go. Where are the buy programs, my boy? Let's go. Let's see what else people are talking about. Ash says Guma is tanking. Let's have a look at GME. Again, really not sure exactly what the look was there, why GME was moving up bigly on the day, but now it is down below that 25 1/5, and that 25 1/5, my friends, that is a level of no importance, except to say,
like you set it up so well.
No, hold on, because I had a white line through it, but I hadn't adjusted the closing print. You know, I have my white lines as the closing prints, right? No, but seriously though, this is an interesting area here on GME because this could be a double bottom. These were the closing prints, 25 1/5. The wick took us down to 25. This will be another 25 touch here on GME. Do we get this defend at this level? All right, let's pull up GME on a trading screen, baby. It behooves us to do that. Which one are we going to flip off? Not in that way. We're going to take off AMZN and switch to the New York and have a look here. I want to take the 25 along. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to sit at 25.05 because that be my birthday. And
Happy my birthday.
Right? Why not, right?
Quote of the year.
Yeah, I know. So if we get long 25.05, we'll see what we get. But I won't let this go too much against me, though, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, I like your look on Tesla as well. You know me, I'm short biased. I was looking for Tesla to break 196, but if it won't, and it's a long, I'm okay with that as well. I'm in a short right now that I feel like I need to address because I'm sure people are looking at this like, and I get it. I get it. I'm short NVIDIA right now. You might be like, Adara, you were just talking about you were long NVIDIA, you got out too early. That is true, I was, and I did. I was singing Jackson 5, you know, we had a whole moment. But, you know what I have to say here?
What?
Is, I come back, NVIDIA has this topping tail candle into 124.70s, an area that was an area of resistance earlier today, and also an area of resistance and support yesterday. I say, Adara, take this short. So I did. Now, for whatever reason, we're like trying to do some bouncy bounce at 124.50. It's like 124.50 was not an area you gave a hoot about earlier today, NVIDIA, so je ne sais pas. But if it wants to flip from resistance to support 124.50, I'll get out break even. I'm all good there. But look at these consecutively lower wicks. I know we're bouncing off VWAP, but you have to look at the balance of the evidence. We're rejecting off a key area of resistance again. We have these lower wicks here. You know, the other way you could look at this, and I think it behooves me to consider this possibility, to use a strafism that I love, is look, this could be a bull flag. I'm aware of that. We had this pop up here. Now we're consolidating. But I have no reason here. There is no vigor. Like I said, I'll get out if we get to 124.70s. We haven't even gotten to 124.60s yet since I've been in it. We get to 124.59, and then NVIDIA's like, I don't know. And I'm like, hey, NVIDIA, if you don't know, I'm good to go. So let's see how we do here. I noticed Trenda, so shout out to Trenda, our trading turtle. Just so you guys know, in 5 minutes we have that bond auction, so I don't want to be involved in NVIDIA. I don't want to be in NVIDIA when that thing hits. But I want to be involved for now. I'm 5 pennies out of the money. I can live with that. Very happy I hit my P&L. I think that's been mentally good for me because I have a tendency to overthink it when I'm like up on the day. That's when I get all wild and I'm like, I can't take a trade. But no, you have to, it should not matter. It's all mental. Shout out to Obi always talking about the mental. I've said this quite a few times. You don't notice how important the mental is until you go live. Okay, NVIDIA, don't love what you did here. Your little pop above 60s. Let's see if you can hold this because I don't. Oh, okay, we'll see. Well, we'll see is what I'll say to that. CCL, Manuel Palma, CCL grinding slowly. Could get interesting over 18.5. Let's see if it could get interesting over 18.5. I have my video on my side chart because we need to be mentally prepared for that. But CCL, yeah, CCL trying to push up here. I agree. I have to say, I echo what you have to say here, but I would say less 18.5 and more. I would like to see 18.48. I know that's a really specific level, but that to me would be the next high. Then that 18.5 was kind of interesting in the pre. We can break above that. But I think right now we need to continue to have these higher lows here, these bounced off the 9 EMA, and that beautiful push above VWAP. That to me would be a great look. Then we take that 18.5 and then we try to get to that 18.60. Shout out to you, Manuel Palma. If you're involved in this, I think it's a great look. I think this multiple times we see support at 18.36. So hope you print, as Sharif always says to me. I say it to you. Yes, NVIDIA with your topping tail candle.
Get him.
Please just punch. I haven't gotten anyone yet, but I thank you, Sharif. I do have an order to get out half the position at 124.30s, just above, because we know that 124.30 area was a bit spicy for me. Let's see, we bounced off there, so I'm going to go monitor my child. How are you doing?
All right, we're in GameStop to defend 25. I mean, it went 20 pennies in the money, but we were kind of greedy and didn't want to take it out. So I'm looking for a hold of this level. The stop is already in place. I'm actually going to give it a little bit of room below 25. The reason I'm getting into this area over here is because of the double bottom. Possibly we had an area defend at 11.25. If it breaks, it breaks. I mean, we're taking a shot at on GameStop, and I think that this is what people want to see. A lot of people come in here to see what we're doing with GameStop, what we're doing with AMC and some of these other names. So I'm long at this level. Get stopped out, get stopped out. We'll see what we get. We will not get upset. The other one, this one's upsetting me though. Not upsetting me, just boring me to death. Come on, BlackBerry, move up a couple of pennies up here.
The boring trades are the worst.
Yeah, they lull you to sleep, and that's the thing. But yeah, the reason this was frustrating is because you can sit on the half. You can sit on the midpoint. That's something we haven't talked about here. So you can sit on the midpoint, meaning that you can sit in between the penny levels. So if there is, say, 24.54, you can say 24.53 and a half and then get filled there. But I haven't done any of that. So I've been just leaving my order at 54s because, well, we've just been leaving it there. All right, GameStop up in to the mid-20s again. If it passes the $0.25, we'll get filled. It's having trouble printing above the $0.25 for a little bit now. Been watching this for a few minutes. Let's see, it's at 23s here. Here's 24s on the ask. Can we cross a little bit? No, so there is a seller there. Not unsurprising. So we'll just pack our patience or get stopped out. One of the two. So let's flip back to the Mag 7 over here and see what they're all up to. Oh. Okay, so this shifted. That's interesting here. Amazon broke down here well below the 10. So I didn't have a plan for that. So now what are we doing here on Amazon? Are we going to go long, possibly at 198? 198 is also an interesting area over here. That's the consolidation area low that we put in. That was that doji candle of indecision coming at 20 after the 20 afternoon. Yeah, 2020. I guess that's how you say it. 198, the 20 exponential is 20 pennies below that at 197.79. You also have this IB high over here at 197. And make sure that you guys vote every day on the afternoon rundown or for the afternoon rundown during our show here. If you want to know what the look is on GameStop, throw GME there in the chat. If you want to know what the Katina man did with his Amazon winner, if you want to see what Obi did, the Amazonian himself, what he did with that, throw that in the chat. Otherwise, you don't have your say. Have your say every day on the afternoon rundown. All right, we're printing here on Gumma as it moves up nicely in the money. All right, I did pack my patience on this one, and I'm happy that it manifested. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. I'm a little greedy, I'm not going to lie. Let's see if we can get 50s. And here come 50s, Adara, and there goes the 50. Happy with this trade. Literally got bottom wick on this one because of that print that we had, 11.25. That's the only reason I got into GameStop. Happy with this trade. Let's see if it sets up now for short at the $0.50, because that's where VWAP is. And it had been using VWAP, as you can see, as a level of support. Does it now flip to resistance? We're not gonna have to wait all that long to find out. It's very close to it right now. And yeah, here it is, breaking through the 50s. So now GameStop at that 50 penny level. Let's see if the sellers step in here. Well, not really. I don't see anything really on the book to show aggressive pressure selling. So keep your eye on the tape to see if there are new orders or hidden orders coming in at this level. Well, we're dancing a little bit right now, a little above the $0.50, a little below. As someone in the chat liked earlier, a little zig, a little zag. So we'll keep an eye on GME. Oh, Blackberry's back up to 253. Come on, 254. Let's go. Let's go.
I will cheer it on for you.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's see what that tags are there, Jack. Chuck of all trades, Gumma, going under 25 today. I wouldn't be surprised, Chuck, to be honest with you. GME, you know, it's a volatile one. So we'll see how this one ends up panning out. Let me know how you trade it. 13.20. Oh! Are HFTs printing ones in the time on sales on BlackBerry? Let's have a look. Oh, I'm on BlackBerry. What am I saying? Well, I don't see too many ones here, 13.20. To be honest with you, I see a lot of 100 prints. I'm assuming what you're talking about is that liquidity algo that runs on Apple and runs on some of these other ones. Oh, I'm short Apple. Okay, so I have to focus on that. Short Apple at this level. I don't want to be short here. I'm getting out. Okay, because that was another, I actually had that planned, sorry. But I'm just not ready for that trade. I'm getting out of that, broke even quickly, in and out on Apple. Back to what I was saying here on BlackBerry. Here's the only one that's showing ones, and it's coming on D. See where it says D1320? That means dark pool, right? So you're not really sure exactly when that order came in, because dark pools, you know, they don't actually have to come in at the time that they print, funny enough. So keep your eye on the gateway. If it says D, it's dark. D is dark pool, right? Katina Mania, thank you. Yeah, D is dark pool there. So keep your eye. I'm seeing big size coming in. To be honest with you, 13.20.
We got the auction.
Go.
Sorry, we just got the auction here.
Go.
I put in the chat. We hadn't had it yet. We just got that number out. It is going to be 4.726% versus 4.650% previous. So we're getting a lower number than the previous number there for the auction. I'm going to be honest, I was not mentally prepared for that re-auction. I got short NVIDIA again because we had those rejections here. If we stay below 124.50, I stay in this. What are you? Sorry, I'll let you finish.
I need to know. Did you say re-auction?
I did, like reaction.
That's amazing. Reaction.
I feel like I've said it before.
Have you?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be more impressed with that.
Thank you. I'm pleased as punch with it. Thank you. And I also want to thank Sharif for holding down the fort there where I got a little bit of coffee. Much appreciated. Teamwork does, in fact, make the dream work.
It does.
But NVIDIA, you should hear that. Teamwork makes the dream work. So I press short because you're rejecting these lower highs, and then you keep having these lower highs. So NVIDIA, that's how teamwork works. You could learn from Sharif and I. That's all I have to say on that. And Trenda, who sits here being adorable every single day.
I have my reservations about Trenda.
He's like such a hater to this turtle. When he tries to feed
I just
her
like
for
trolling Ram.
oh, that's
So I
true.
don't care about Trenda. It's good. It's fine.
Remember
It's
when you
just
fed her
Ram
a Ferrero Rocher the other day?
Oh. Don't remind me about that, eh, Adara? Okay.
It was fun.
Adara, I want to mention that Amazon is getting a bounce at the 20 exponential right now. We were talking about this one possibly, either being a 198 touch and bounce or 20 period exponential touch and bounce. And it looks like the 20 period exponential theory, option, possibility is the one that is manifesting right now. It did come in to that 80 penny level, and right above 198 it goes. But look, I'm not going to put all the weight in the world on one candle over here. Let's see what this candle does. We just closed this 5-minute candle and opened a new one here at 105. If this one breaks and closes above this one, I'm going to go long on AMZN, maybe to front run it for a 200 break. Who knows? Right now, we are getting defense, though, at that level, at the 20-period exponential. And quite honest, if I get long here, then I don't really have to give it that much room for a stop, because I can just base it off where the 20 exponential is printing. So right now, we're kind of 2 candles of indecision at this level. So I'd rather wait and have a bit of a more secure trade with this on. But I do absolutely love that we're getting 2 doji candles right now at a key technical level to see if we hold up there. 1320 Wolf, probably just an iceberg order. Thanks for humoring me. No, of course, I'm not humoring. I'm answering your questions, man. You have good questions. Shout out to 1320. Scott Edwards, any thoughts on NXL here? That was one Neil had his eye on yesterday. We talked about this one, NXL Ram, and to be honest with you, it was a nice mover, but then it really, the bed, right? Because that was a big Christmas tree retracement that we did there through $4 yesterday, Adara.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, it was big.
I was like making that.
I remember, yeah. And then we did nothing, essentially, except sell off after that and then consolidate in the aftermarket. Kind of the same look here, to be honest with you. Who was it that asked me? Scott, because the 930 print took us from 2 2/3 into 3 1/3, and then it was a Huadunk and the making of a newer low, right? Through 2 to 2 1/3. So $1 worth of range right now on NXL. I got to tell you though, Scott, here's a look too. I should mention that this line that I'm putting in right here at 273, that's yesterday's closing print. So it obviously had issues breaking above 273 once it huadunked off that 337. If you're new to the show, huadunk means tanked, okay? It's just kind of like a noise we make on here to indicate the tanking. But seriously though, if we get up into that 273 again and reject, that's an interesting short. However, if we break above it, I'd be looking for a possible long, at least maybe into VWAP, if not into $3. So keep your eye on what happens here. In fact, we rejected it here and we attempted to break it over here and then we sold off. The most important point though is to notice that there is a little bit on the left and a little bit on the right. And what I mean is there's some showing some evidence pointing positive to the long and some evidence pointing to the short. The evidence pointing to the long is a successive higher lows. The evidence pointing to the short is the huadunk, as well as the rejection, the multiple rejection off that 2 3/4 level, the closing print from yesterday. Let me know how your trade goes. Goes without saying, I hope you print on that. But yeah, let me see what Amazon is doing. So right now, Amazon did hold up at that level. That 198-ish level, the 20 exponential on the 5, does hold up here, but they are both successive candles of indecision.
Go. Chewy, because Chewy just had this massive move up here. Thank you guys in the chat for bringing up Chewy to us. If you want to see Chewy or any of the tickers, go in the chat right now. Exclamation point, join, space, $, thing of whatever ticker you want to look at. Definitely vote for that. Chewy, this could be, Ryan Cohen is the connection here between Chewy and GME. This could be something there. Oh!
This was this morning.
Okay, that's
and
good then.
So shares of Chewy are trading lower after the company announced $500 million repurchase of shares from BC Partners. That obviously doesn't explain the PAMP.
I'm going to look at Roaring Kitty's tweet because I saw some mentions. Maybe he's mentioned in this.
Sounds good.
You do have that connection with GME. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, this is more important. Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at this, right? I have nothing to look at right there right now. Also, NVIDIA popping back into 124.70s, so that is a long. I had a bit of a short there, got out. I will say massive support at 124.30. I was looking for a breakdown there, and NVIDIA was like, I do not care. I do not care, Adira. And I said, cool. Took what I could there, and then got out. I'm trying to find his, the Roaring Kitty. I think I found this account. I am not seeing, 9 minutes ago he tweeted this dog, so I guess you could argue
That is
this is a Chewy reference.
I'm assuming, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he tweeted this dog, and now we have.
Chewy is ripping.
Yeah.
Because of Catman. He tweeted a picture of a dog and Chewy rips. What kind of world do we live
So
in?
anyways, guys, sorry for the wait there. Also, thank you, Killer Cam, for telling us there was unusual options on Chewy earlier this week.
Yes.
420 Bud Monster just summarizing it beautifully. The cat tweeted a doggy pic. So.
The Catman strikes again. Shout out to Derek. Thank you for looking at that.
Thank you guys in the chat for telling us. Sorry we didn't see that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have eyes on that at all.
Also, tap on Chewy is 33.70 to answer Mark Lasky's question. As of right now, that's what I'm seeing.
All right, we're going to have to load up Chewy here, Dara,
Yep.
because it's kind of like a required reading
yeah.
up in this place. All right, Guma is tanking again, right back down. So let me clear all my orders on this one. I don't want to be involved in any...
TTD also apparently
Yeah, you can take
pamping.
over if you'd like.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just looking here. Thank you, John Del Sano, for letting us know. TTT apparently pamping. Let's pull this up.
Pamp.
I haven't heard pamp. I love the most enthusiastic pamp. Yeah, okay, we had volume on TDD, but TDD was already kind of in an uptrend, so I gotta say, to me, this is a little less pampy than Chewy, but thank you for bringing this one up, John Del Sano. We are at highs of day on a nice volume pop. Is there anything on TTD? I guess I've had some issues with my blotter, unfortunately, as of late, trying to deal with that,
of course.
but
TDD.
TTD.
Kathy, Kathy, what's top and button? Okay, that's not it. Trade desk volume reach a recent low. I'm looking. Nothing from today that would justify the move, Adara. Is it
just
as well.
No, it's just a little mild pamp on volume, but thank you for bringing this to our attention, Don Del Side. No, yeah, to me, the TTD moves a bit different because A, there's less volume. Total volume in the day for this is just over a milli. Like Eli Lilly can pull those numbers, okay? If you're doing Eli Lilly volume, unfortunately, that's not gonna be as big of a pamp to me. But all jokes aside, we already had an uptrend on this. Nice move. To me, this looks just like a volume breakout, I would probably say. But thank you for bringing this to our attention, John Del Sano. Much appreciated there. Ravine Millionaire, I see what you mean there. I think there is certainly some spiciness that could be considered questionable with what's going on here with these Roaring Kitty movements. Post a dog, man, post a dog. A stock goes up 15%. What a world.
Okay, so here it is. Thank you, guys. Chuck of all trades, Wolf is moving with Chewy. Thank you very much for that. I've got Chewy. It's halted still, guys, but here is the headline on Wolf. Watching shares of Petco Health, PetIQ, TDH Holdings, shares see a spike in volume to the upside. Traders speculate the Catman X post of a picture of a dog might be a new pet play. Here it is, as Adara showed you, the Catman posting a picture of said dog, and that came on 1 p.m. That was exactly 12 minutes ago. Let's have a look at when this started pumping. Exactly 12 minutes ago. Right at 1 o'clock. So no ands if or buts about that. All right, Chewy's open. Here we go. Let's see now. I'm looking mean reversion here, guys. I don't know what is the short float on Chewy. So let's bring down trade ideas. Shout out the NOS boss and his crew. Chewy 15%, 14.89. That's decent, guys. Short float of the 133 million shares. 14.89 is shorted. Woof. Let's see, bigger, 22.17% short float on Woof. So 22 essentially of the 150 million shares is shorted on that. So high short float on both names. Keep your eye on that because they can move parabolically here. And there goes Chewy to the high side. Here comes 40 bucks, 39. I believe 39 right now is HOD. Woof is also halted to the upside, guys. Woof is halted at 358 right now. Let me look quickly here on Chewy on the side. 39.10 HOD right now on the Chewy one. Let's see if this one can continue to go. The halt level previously, Adara, was 33 and 3/4. I chart halt levels as possible areas of support and resistance. So if we come down into 34, 33 and a quarter, look for a possible area of support. We're $2 off the top right now as we do a topping tail candle through 39, 36 and a half incoming here. Not a good topping tail candle. Keep your eye on this one. It can be awfully volatile. We're already down to 25%, having been up 35. Now we've made a new low below this candle of indecision at the 1 minute candle at 13.13. The 13.14 candle makes a newer low. 13 is 114. Sorry, guys, I'm talking in world time because I'm getting excited. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. 35 incoming here, Dara, as this one breaks down. Wolf, I believe, is is still halted at 358. I believe this one halted at 110. So we have like another 30 seconds to a minute of halt time. Quickly here, let's look at GameStop to make sure that it's not moving without us. GME at 25 and a third. GME held 25 again here, Ram. Let me look quickly. Yeah, it's all good, Ram. Never got it.
I love the Rams.
Yeah, of course. This is the area we got in on GameStop. It came back to 25.10 and bounced again. So it was a rinse and repeat level. That is a triple bottom off that 25.10. The first print we got at 11:30, then the one that I got into there, and we just dropped again into that level. 3 times now at 25.10-ish has been defended on the day. Let's flip back to the Chewy one quickly over here. CHWY on the New York, guys, still hanging out below 36, coming back down now into the low 35s, guys. All right, so be careful with this one as it could mean revert down.
Yeah, there was something else I wanted to look at for people, and I do not. It was Chewy, and then something else here that I...
Can I just cover the super chat?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, my bad, because I didn't see it. David Clark, $10 super chat. Hi, Trader TV. Best experience of my life. Unbelievable SPX, NDX, SPY, triple Qs. I was able to locate some issues with European options and American options. Shout out to you, David Clark. We're here every day from 8:30 to 4:30. Make sure you're joining Adair and I, Brendan and I, the Katina Man and the Neil, and obviously Obi stepping in for Neil. And make sure to vote, guys. Afternoon rundown in about 45 minutes. If you don't vote, you don't have your say. Get into the chat right now. Use that prompt on your screen. Make sure there's a space between the word join and the $sign, and have your say every day.
Yeah, definitely vote for the tickers of choice there. We love that over here. Also, now there's one called Bark, apparently. I wonder if the Bark's worse than its bite over here. Let's take a look at BARK. Thank you, Sharif, for the positive response to that pun. Bark is it barking?
What's happening?
It is barking. Bark is, in fact, barking. Bark, bit of a topping tail. Didn't mean to, I barked that accidentally. Bark with a bit of a topping tail candle here. Then we go a little bit lower. I think VWAP could be interesting, not just because it's VWAP, but looking at this bottoming tail candle we had here. And not just VWAP, but that was also our pre-market level before this Roaring Kitty madness. So I think this will be an interesting look. Also, something in the chat that I thought was kind of interesting conversation, something I want to learn more about before I have a huge opinion on this, but I do think I want to say that what Killer Cam had to say, basically the idea that what Roaring Kitty's doing is not very different from, Josh Brown going on Amazon.
No, it's not.
I agree.
Not.
But my thing that I think is interesting is with Josh Brown, you've got someone who's like a known investor saying, I added to this position, right?
And they explain why.
Pardon? And they explain why. With Roaring Kitty, a man posted a photo of a dog. We don't even know what stock he's in. So I'm not saying that there's a difference. Like, you know what I mean? To each their own, and I do understand the issues and the merits of both approaches. To me, I just think what really has me going is the fact that all we had to do was post a dog, and all these dog-related stocks are running. That's just what I think is kind of entertaining.
I respect that, but I also feel I don't need to be babysat by the exchanges. I'm a big boy, and if I want to lose my own money, I should be entitled to lose my own money, right? Like, it's my money,
Literally.
right? So I just don't like to be babysat. And that's what Ram tells her dad, and now I don't feel that good about it.
You troll her so much, bro.
I love teasing Ram. Shout out to Ram. No, seriously though, guys. Obviously, Josh Brown may sound more convincing in his reasons why he's getting long on Amazon than maybe Roaring Kitty did to you, why he's getting long on GameStop. But I mean, it's not for us to be the judges of the merit, right? And so if you believe it, do it. I just don't like to be babysat. I hate that babysitting mentality, and yeah, that's just my opinion on things. All right, let's see exactly what we're up to here. We're still above the volume-weighted average price on the NQ September contract, and that has me a little bit bamboozled as to what to do. I mean, like, look at the ranges that are taking place here on Apple between that 213, let's say 60, and that 214-ish area. So Apple caught in a bit of a range. Meta has been in a range for a while, since basically recovering off that 515.50. It's been in a range since around 1210. That's a better part of an hour, guys. Goggles, much the same thing. The one that really hasn't been rangy has been Amazon, Nvidia, and Microsoft. They've both had, you know, decent moves here. Tesla was caught in a bit of a range as well, as we mentioned, between the closing print and VWAP, though I did mention that the higher lows were more indicative than the range between VWAP and the closing print, because those higher lows pushed it well higher than the closing print. And now we're talking about that area low or area top earlier from 1025 to 1045 when we were rejecting off that 197 area. We make it up to 197, and now we dip into 196. But looking to hold 196 here is Tesla, as that's VWAP, and right back into 196 in the third. It goes again. Let's look for a 197 break and take. We know Tesla's been awfully strong lately. No reason why it should be strong, not from a traditional catalyst perspective, but who cares about that? Because we trade the price action, baby. And all I know is 197 is an interesting area here, no doubt. So yeah, we'll keep eyes on that. John, I found news on Chewy BC Partners $500 million repurchase. Yeah, but that was, I mentioned that, John. I already mentioned that one, but that was a negative catalyst, so it sold off on that news. Obviously, now it's bouncing. It is really the Catman news here that's moving, but thank you for pointing it out, John. GME running, says Alex Diaz. Guma. All right, Guma is back. Let's see. No, come on, bro. It's not running, is it? No, not really. It's at the $0.50. No, it's not running. Come on. It bounced off 25, but we already mentioned that one. Darwin, Kramer, Mad Money Watchers. We recommend Chewy on Tuesday. Sell half right now. Shout out to the OG Darwin. Chuck of all trades, Sharif Adara. I need the Catman. Send us a message before he posts. Yeah, that would be nice. It'd be nice also if BlackRock called me before they punched into Apple, or Uncle Warren called me before he got into Apple as well. So, you know, we're not going to get that. Brad Gober taking the zone long at VWAP if it holds. Shout out to you, Brad. Let's see what you're talking about here on AMZN. All right, Brad, so it looks as if that dalliance with 198 gave way here on AMZN, and it dipped into 197. So here's what I'm going to say, Brad. Look at the IB high over here. That 1020 print, that takes us all the way into 197. I like your idea, Brad, because VWAP also at that 197 area. If 197 comes in on this on, I want all the smoke. You know, I'm going to say that. We're going to do that right now. We're going to put a resting order on AMZN so we can basically take the subjectivity out of it. Let's flip Apple. Let me just make sure. Oh, I have Amazon here. So it looks like it's moving up now, but quite frankly, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to sit at 197, and I'm going to front run it. I'm going to go, let's say, 05s is probably not enough. Let's go 7s. I'll sit right there. But it's heading back up here aggressively, Brad. Look at that 197. 50 hold, and now it's at 198.40. Oh my goodness. So good recovery there on the Zon. I'm still going to stick with my level. I like it because of this area over here, and the volume weighted average price comes down into my area. I'm getting long. Doesn't. I don't.
Yeah. I tried to go short Nvidia, and I stand by this. That 124. Okay, so I tried a long earlier in Nvidia because I loved that. I was really proud of my patience. I said 120. I had my levels I liked. I waited for 124.70. We got above it. We bounced. We broke below. We came back and bounced again. I said, Derek, go long. Long didn't work. Got out. It was a smaller position anyway. Then I took this short, slightly larger position because I love this level of the 124.30. We broke below it. I made sure we broke below it a couple times there. So I tried. Wasn't able to get the perfect price either. Got 124.26s, so it's a little bit on me as well. We broke above into the 40s and I got out, so all good. I cannot be too upset about this. I traded it appropriately. But CMG, Now, this could be basing out. We had a slightly higher low here. We're below the 90 MA. This is not one that I can really, I'm happy with the trade in this one earlier, but it's not really a scalp name. You do have a wider spread, so I'm just going to be cognizant of CMG here. I'm going to see what happens when I'm done the lesson. Also, before I do that, I want to look at coin for Brad Gober. And by the way, if you guys have any tickers you want to look at, you go in the chat right now. You only have 25 minutes left to do this.
That's it?
Yeah, only 25 minutes, Sharif. You go in the chat right now, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you want, Tesla, NVIDIA. I don't know why I'm using this voice. Microsoft, AMD, Bark, Chewy, Woof. I don't know. Great look. I have to agree though with you, Brad Gober on coin. We actually get a pushback. You know what? You know what gets a pushback? This 119.50. Oh, this 219.50.
What?
Sharif, look at this.
That's
this
beautiful.
topping tail candle.
That's
look where we bounced, 219.50.
Good look.
Then we get a slightly lower high, or lower low, but not to fear. We come right back up here. Brad Gober, thank you so much for pointing this out. What a look. If you were involved in this coin breakout right now, and look at how we break this top as well. We have a couple failed wicks above it. Then we come just form a support area. You're making coin if you took that coin long. So shout out to you, Brad Gober, and anyone there who is living their life and doing their thing, 21. Definitely interrupt me during the lesson if any, cats make any noise on Twitter or any other things of note. But for now, we will talk about the average true range because, you got to rejoice. We're going to get into the trailing stop savior, which is a technique that uses the ATR to lock in some profits while giving your trades a little bit of breathing room. Because it could be hard when you don't give your trades enough breathing room and things go a little bit awry. As someone who never gives my trades enough breathing room, I totally feel this. So I'm really, I did that thing where I accidentally wove my mouse.
You want me to take over?
How do I fix this when you accidentally close all your tabs?
Oh, so you're going to take it and then shake it again. So,
oh, really?
No. So you got to grab a window, get out, exit out of that, grab a window like that one. No, that one. The chart.
Oh, the chart.
Yeah, grab it. No. Click it. Now, grab it from the top like you want to move it.
Oh, yeah.
And shake it. There you go. Again. No, you got to let it go. And then do it again. No. Let me do it. There you go. I don't know why it brought that one and not the other ones. Here, let me take over. I'll do the lesson. No worries.
It's going to take a minute.
Yeah, it's okay. I can do it. No worries about that at all. Let's do it. So we're talking about average true range all week. Today, we'll get a little bit more nuanced, guys. We're going to talk about using it for your trailing stop placement. So you already read the intro, so I won't read that again. So why is the trailing stop such a struggle to use sometimes? They're fantastic for locking in profits, but setting them too tight can prematurely exit a winning trade. And sadly, a loose stop, a stop set too loose, can leave you vulnerable to sudden reversal. So that is kind of the yin and the yang that you always got to deal with there. So ATR to the rescue, baby. Your intraday volatility meter can be your trailing stop savior. Here's how to use it for dynamic stop adjustments. So the first thing is you're going to combine your trailing stop with ATR. Here's the basic idea. So you're going to set your initial stop loss as we explained how to do using ATR. Go back to the lesson on Tuesday if you want to know how to do that. So that's step number one, setting up your regular stop. And then you're going to move on to the next step. As the price moves in your favor, gradually trail your stop a certain distance behind the price. Well, how do you do that? Well, you're going to use the ATR multiplier formula here. So here's what we're going to do. So example.
I'm done.
You want to take over?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharif, for
no worries.
for doing that. Just because,
no worries.
So basically, we're going to talk about this. We were the example here, right? Or let's talk.
Yeah, we're right in the example.
Perfect. Thank you. So sorry guys for the thing there. So let's talk about this example in action. So let's say you got a stock, you bought it at $30, and you set an initial stop loss at $28 using the stop loss buddy method that we talked about yesterday. So let's say your ATR is $2 and you choose a trailing factor of 0.5. So if the price gets to 35, your new stop loss is going to become 33.50. How do we get here? Because use the original stop plus your profit gain and then minus the ATR multiplied by the trailing factor. So first you multiply the trailing factor and the ATR, and then you subtract that number from the total of the original stop and profit gain. So for example, you got your $28 initial stop loss, right? Plus $5 minus your $2 times your factors. That's going to be 1. So interesting look there. That's how you get 33.50. Let's talk as well about the importance of volatility, because the beauty of ATR is you can be adaptable with it, right? If the market becomes more volatile, so you have a higher ATR, your trailing stop will automatically increase its buffer, protecting your profits during swings. But in a calmer, more subdued market where you have a lower ATR, the stop loss trails a little bit more tightly. So that's something worth knowing. Here's some benefits of ATR trailing stops, because you want to be able to lock in your profits, right? As the price moves a bit more in your favor, the trailing stop will ensure that you capture a portion of those profit gains. It's also aware of volatility, which is always great, right? Volatility is always important. So the stop adjusts to market conditions. So not only is it adjusting to what the market's doing, it's also adjusting how the market is feeling. It offers you greater protection during volatile periods. And also flexibility. We love flexibility in these markets. You got to be flexible, otherwise the markets will chew you up and spit you out, right? So you control the trailing factor, allowing you to customize the balance between profit protection and giving your trade a little bit of room to run. But remember, ATR is a historical measure. It's not going to be a guarantee, and the price can reverse course even with a trailing stop. So you might want to consider other technical indicators for confirmation before adjusting your stop. Just as you want confirmation before you enter a trade, you want to make sure that you're not adjusting your stop willy-nilly, that there's a reason if you choose to do that. Also, as a bonus tip, you might want to backtest your trailing stop strategy with historical data to find trailing factor that balances profit capture with risk management to best suit your trading needs. Thank you so much, Sherry, for putting together that lesson. Now with the first part of it.
I just want to make a point that the multiplier here is really the trick. So the formula is super easy. Anybody can plug in the formula, Dara. The trick here is to figure out 3 things. 1, the market conditions. 2, the nature of the instrument that you're trading. Is it volatile? Is it not? What is it doing now? Apple wasn't volatile a few months ago. Now it is. So that's number 2. Number 3, what is your personality like? Are you more aggressive? Do you like to wait out for bigger moves? Or are you scalpier, right? So your multiplier has to absolutely factor that in. And that's why you need to kind of practice it sometimes in the sim or whatever. However you do it, small size, maybe live, whatever. Figure out how it works for you, because there's just no cut and dry formula that I can say I use a multiplier of 1, you use it, and then it doesn't work out your way. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you for doing the lesson, Dara. All right, let's have a look at the Mag 7 here, Ram, because we're getting some decent moves here on the dead one. Again, back into 214. I'm looking to short here on Apple. I get that there are higher lows. I get it double bottomed off that 212 and a half. However, it's been awfully rangy for the better part of the afternoon, and so is the future, and so is NVIDIA, so is Tesla, so is Meta, so is Google. So I gotta get the feeling that we may be stuck in this range, and people are taking maybe the long weekend a little early today, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, July 1st is Canada Day, but that's not a market holiday, and then we have a half day on the 3rd, and we're completely off on the 4th, so, you know, sometimes people just take off early because they want that vacation. Anyway, Apple coming down now, rejecting that 214 again. So I am going to work my way into a short here on AAPL. I do like this level on Apple. It has been, it's been good to me. I mean, I got into it here. I wasn't ready for that though. That's why I got out, because this was a stop that got triggered, and I was not prepared for that. So here we go, right back again into 214. We'll see what we do. So I'm gonna look to defend into the high. Okay, so the 214.20. I'll be defending into 214.20. The $0.25 is my line of stand. That's where I get stopped out of there.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that Tesla range, because I'm trying to play that Tesla range, but I have so many reservations. You know, I usually say I'm qualm free. Right now I'm full of qualms. I am so qualm full. It's not even funny. Yes, I made up a word. But Tesla.
Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, come on, we're rejecting this area. So I think I owe it to myself to attempt this short. We're rejecting it with these topping tail candles. The thing I'm cognizant of, though, and the reason I have a little bit of heebie-jeebies, is the fact that we're resting really nicely here on VWAP. We could break out. But look, we also rejected this area earlier, this 196.80. We're going to give this 196.80s. I'm going to give this 20 pennies. I'm making minimum 20 pennies if we bounce off VWAP, or sorry, if we bounce off the 90 MA. I don't want to want to be cognizant. So I want to take out half the position there. I want to save a piece of the dream for a VWAP at 196. I don't know if I'll get this. And honestly, the amount of qualms I have makes me think maybe I should get out of this because I don't want to take a trade I'm not comfortable with. But I have no reason to leave yet. So I'm going to try to pack that patience. I think this will look cool to hold up, but if we keep holding 196.60 as a support on the book, that is actually going to be a quantifiable reason for me to leave. Let's take a look. Apparently, Chewy was back up. That was a little while ago. That was while I was doing the lesson, so I don't know if that's still valid. These Chewies and these things like that, they can change minute to minute. Oh, Chewy bouncing off the 90 MA and VWAP. This is actually a nice look.
Oh.
It's not really my type of trade, but I actually don't mind the idea of taking this long here off this VWAP. And as I said that, it popped. So I guess shout out to anyone who took this VWAP long way before I looked at this. Great look on that. Let's take a look at GME. Because GME, GME here, recovering pretty nicely off that 25.10 level. I want to shout out Sharif's trade on GME. GME is not an easy one to trade. Sharif killed it on that trade. Tesla, keep going lower here, please and thank you. Like, if not, I'll take you long, but I, just want to be able to get out of this trade mostly unscathed here. Nvidia is still chopping and trading around its 124.60. I don't have a level on that right now, but I'm going to have to go get out of my Cybertruck. How are you doing?
Good. Well, not good, but we're in Apple now short. Again, I've got my DCA, planned DCA to defend up into the 20s. I've also got a beak wetter in the mid 80s. If it prints, it prints. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's coming down a little bit now. It's kind of been a rinse and repeat style trade all day. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way though, guys. I mean, at some point the range is going to break. Why not now? So we'll see. Doing this 214 rejection right now on AAPL, keeping one eye on the future as well, because we're definitely near that consolidation area high on the futures. I'm talking about the NQ September contract. I'm not talking about the ES. So looking for that 214 rejection on AAPL, line in the sand, 2.25. That just goes without saying. Let's go ahead and put that line in set sand. We're going to put it at 26s, and then we're going to cover the entire thing there. You can go off that. You can go off that level if you want as well. 214. It's just a general area. The reason I'm defending into the 20s because we have a topping tail candle at 1230 right into that level as well. So if we come into that level, I'd like to be able to defend it. So that's my look there. And 214, we're going to cover everything at 30s, and it's going to be this. So we'll put that in, and we'll pack our patience there. Tesla, though, a little bit of a different look here on TSLA as the look with NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, both curling up a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit. Tesla is just still in that 197 range that we talked about earlier. These were the topping tail candles at around that 1020 to 1045 that we rejected. Tesla at 197 now. So we're short Apple, but I'm very interested to see what Tesla does in and around 197. Again, I'm very cognizant of the higher lows, this upward channel that has been putting in essentially since that bottom at 1130. However, it doesn't mean that the seller at 197 is gone. It just means that there was buyer exuberance at these levels. So packing my patience, I want to see what this one does. I'm absolutely interested in possibly taking this short at 197, but I will also have one eye in the future because we're still dancing a little bit here between 2,000, and a quarter to 20,000 and 2/3, generally coming into that 60-point area and then rejecting again. So multiple names ranging, and then some other names really curling up, like Amazon, Tesla, and Microsoft. Microsoft still south, though, of that volume-weighted average price level and the 50-penny level. Meta has just been dead money since noon onwards. Unreal. Unless, obviously, you're range trading, in which it's not dead money. It's great because it's printing for you. So that's a look there. Let's flip back to some of these small-cap gappers, see what's afoot over there. Anything going on with BlackBerry? It's back at 53s, but I'm probably not going to get printed at 54s. That's just my luck on the day. MLGO still all the way down over here, defending that the pre-market level at around $19. MLGO double bottom off that level. Great defend of the pre-market area. Resistance now making it an after bell support 19. Two bottoming tail candles in and around that area though. Be careful with MLGO. It's a bit of a bamboozler. All right, BlackBerry's at 54s again. You don't say. There's no way I'm going to get printed on it, though. Just watch. Here we go. We're at 54s again, and I'm not getting printed. How low in priority am I? I've been sitting there on the ask for the entire morning. I must be the lowest person in priority, or there just must be a zillion people ahead of me because I'm not getting printed, even though it comes into the ask. So not really sure exactly what's going on with BlackBerry there, but there does seem to be some chop and churn at those levels. So we'll see what we get. And a dare. Oh my God! Oh my God!
It hurt you. And
Oh
it was
my
like,
God.
Sharif, I care about you. And it gave you the fill.
We got the fill, and now it's printing 55. So let's pack our patience with this one and see if we can extract a little bit more out of it, Adair.
Yeah, shout out to Jesus Cabrera, who voted for a ticker. So please do that, guys. If there's any tickers you want to look at, go in the chat, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker you like. He was voting for PDD. Now this PDD, this is beautiful. I really wanted to take this short. I wasn't able to get filled. But I do want to shout out Jesus Cabrera for this one because look at this topping tail candle.
Oh.
We had this bottom here at 137.94. We have this bottom, then we pop up here and we reject. This chart is beautiful. At the same level, we had this kind of bear flag breakout earlier. That's going to be 134.30s. Then we come lower here. We make another, some lower highs, lower lows. Look where we have a little bit for a moment there of support. That's right. 132.94. That number sounds familiar. It's because we had that bottom there earlier. Now we wick up into 132.94, so we reject with the viciousness. I wanted to take the short at 132.80s. The reason I didn't is A, I did not get filled, and B, we do have these bottoming tail candles that I want to be cognizant of, so I'm going to have to be aware of that. Shout out to, I think it was Urso in the chat saying a video looks like a long. Yeah, I mean, great look there. That was before we had that pop of 124.70. I didn't take that because this 124.70 break has been so bamboozling. We failed it the first time, then we got it the second time, and it wasn't perfect. So I was like, you know what, NVIDIA, you have to be more patient. But NVIDIA 125/124.95, depending on how picky you are about levels, was an area of resistance earlier. I'm going to watch this. I'm qualmless about shorting the pop. Also, I have to acknowledge that Tesla, I'm really proud of what I did with the Tesla short. It didn't work out, so I left. And I left before we had that big old pop. Because I had that short, because at the time that was the range, you know what I mean? So I thought I was shorting the top of the range. I didn't feel that comfortable to begin with. I probably should have been more cognizant. If we bounce here, I'll try to take the long back into 197. I admittedly did try to take the long here after I got out of the short, and Tesla said, no, Adara, the Cybertruck is closed for you. So I said, okay, Tesla, I understand, I respect you. The reason I'm not hopping into this long with both feet first right away is we do have a couple topping tail candles that I want to be aware of. That being said, I do like this area. I think I might be more confident in this than I was in the short, which, no, but then we break down. Yeah, if I don't have the confidence, if I'm this wishy-washy talking about it, I should definitely not be trading it. Let's look at AMD, which is a name that I usually look at that I have not looked at a lot today. And
What happened?
look at it's just a nice look. We had a bit of a fake out bull flag here. We come down, so we have this bull flag formation. We come down here a little bit below VWAP, pushing down. Then we come reject VWAP on a wick basis. Then we come down once again, higher low, push to the upside here. I'm okay with scalping AMD if there's something I like, but right now no levels are tickling my fancy. Again, if there's any tickers that are tickling your fancy, make sure you put those in the chat. Let's look at T to the S to the L to A. I think that's going to be what I'm staring at right now. NVIDIA 125 rejection is also just something I'm obsessed with, but I think I might be more obsessed with Tresla, something.
You typed in Stressla too. I love it.
I did actually. My brain. That's how I need more coffee. Thank you for letting me take that walk, girl. I appreciate that. But I really did type in Stressla, guys. That's how tired I am. How are you doing?
Get down, Apple. Come on, bro. Look, give me a print. Here comes. Oh, wow. Got right into my area and then didn't cross. Oh, come on, Apple. You can give it to me. I'm just waiting at 86s. It's not the biggest deal, Apple. I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. Just drop down a little bit. Come on. And there it is. Nice. Okay, so we print a little bit on Apple. I didn't get DCA'd. I'm sad about that. I was confident that we would get that trigger, and it did come in to 07s multiple times. Go down, Apple. Nice. I wanted more size, though. That's why. I had that DCA planned there. The reason I took a little bit smaller size to enter because I was unsure exactly how this one would resolve. It was multiple touches at the volume weighted average price. And usually if you keep accumulating at something, there's an eventual breakout. Doesn't look like it happened this time though. So that purple line right there goes as an unfulfilled DCA. We're 20 pennies in the money on the dead one right now. I want a bit more. If we can eke out a little bit more, I'm thinking maybe mid 60s. In fact, I'm not thinking it anymore. I'm going to do it. So we're going to sit there and cover the majority of, or the rest of the move down in the mid 60s if we do get it. We also put a topping tail on the future. However, most notably, the winds of change may be coming in on the NQ September contract. So we've been talking about this range. However, now we're getting higher wicks than each previous wick. So that's called higher highs. Even though the candles are not closing in that kind of decisive fashion, you know, that close near the high of the candle. No, they're kind of wicky, a little above, a little bit below, a little zag, but you know, it feels as if maybe we're curling up here. We're already up 0.5% on the day on the NQ September contract after being down over a quarter. So a bit of a recovery there. Not a lot to write about, to be honest with you, right now on the future. Oh, nice bottoming tail candle. Come on, Apple, let's go. 66 is incoming. We're 30 pennies in the money now on the dead one. If we can print here, if we cross 66s, buyer at 68 right now, it moves up. I didn't want to flatten out. I'd rather just wait to see if it comes in. Showing 69s on the ask. It was showing 68s before, and yeah, it looks like I'm not going to get filled there. So we'll pack our patience, and I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that planned DCA at 24.17. So much do I like that 214 rejection. I'm going to hold on to it. So we're going to leave it there. And if we get printed, we get printed. Somebody was asking me there, Manuel Palma was just asking me about Meta for a breakout through VWAP. And I said, Manuel, I'd rather trade it as a range, 519 high, 518 low. Look what it just did, guys. This is not an accident. It goes right into VWAP at 519 and it drops 70 pennies just like that. Manuel, I speak from experience, from desk slamming experience. It's very spready. Have a resting order at the level that you like. Don't chase it. Don't be a schmuck like me and lose. And you know, basically 25 penny was the cost yesterday for chasing this one. I wanted it in the low 90s. I ended up getting it at 17s yesterday. So don't be a schmuck like me. Have a resting order at the level that you like on Meta and let it trigger. If you want to trade it as a range. If you don't, then that's all good too. So that's what I'm looking for there. Apple coming up again. So, you know, we're 1 penny away from getting filled on our last part of the position there, and right up into the 80s we go. So we're gonna have to pack our patience on this one. I'm still gonna hold on to that planned DCA at 214.07. I like this level on Apple. So I'm leaving it there exactly. Man, I should have taken the 197 general short on Tesla. I had a feeling this was going to do it. We were waxing poetic about these topping tail candles that were rejecting 197 from 1020 to 1045, multiple topping tail candles into 197, all of which rejected. Lo and behold, this candle at 135 comes in to 197. Yet again, you got a nice rejection and it drops about 50 pennies. Still opportunity to get in. Keep your eye out on the higher lows though. Each successive low is a little bit higher on Tesla. That usually spells a breakout at some point in the day or just a continued trend upwards. So be on the lookout for that. 197 ain't gonna be a resistance level forever and ever. There's gonna be at some point where it gives way. We'll see when that time is. Softy, another rejection off the volume weighted average price on MSFT. 454.50. Didn't have eyes on this one. That's a mistake by me. We had the initial short on the soft one at that level and didn't take it second time around. What a nice move down off the $0.50 on MSFT.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, wow, Tesla, we call it Stressla for a reason. I should have avoided that name. I went from being green on Tesla to red on Tesla. And yeah, I know I haven't really been looking at my P&L. That time I did because I was like, how badly did we get chewed up on Tesla? Again, the issue was I don't really know if I felt good about any of the trades. I shouldn't have kept waffling around it. Like, what was the point? This NVIDIA, though, I feel so good about and I want to talk about it. So I know I said on and on and on and on and on. I was like, I like 124.70s for NVIDIA. If we break that,
Katina was laughing because you said on and on and on.
Quite a few times. Yeah, I went on and on about on and on. But we kept having this level hold, right? So I was like, you know what, Adara, if we see this like what we see here, this bottom of the candle, I said, you have such a clear risk area, risk into 124.60s. and get long. I took a smaller position, something I should have maybe done in Tesla. Took a smaller position here, and then basically was like, you know what? We'll take out 2/3 if we get to 124.80, 88. If we come back to 124.80 and bounce, add. That's what I did. Then I kept taking this out. I think we may have our 124.95 break, but I'm cognizant of how much of an area of resistance this is. I think if we break above it like we did at that topping tail candle earlier, that'll be gorgeous. I'll be pleased as punch. I don't really want to add to this right now. I could, like I said, I have this trade with the option to add. I've baked it into the trading plan, but I don't want to add all willy-nilly. I just want to see, not Tesla, NVIDIA, this one, NVIDIA, hold this level right now. I want to talk about Tesla though, because we have to talk about Tesla. Unfortunately. I went short. This trade I stand by. I stand by me trying to take the short here. What I don't stand by was I think I got a little bit like upset. I was like, grr, Dara, try to take this long. Yeah, like what am I doing here? Tried to take the long. To be fair, I thought we were going to keep bouncing off that 197. We didn't. Wasn't able to get out as quickly as I wanted to, unfortunately. Then I said, Dara, try to take this short. We're back to that area, previous rejection. That did not work either, but vote.
Yes, 1 minute left. You guys literally have 30 seconds left right now. So get to voting right now in the chat, exclamation point, $, and then the word join, then hit space, because there has to be a space between join and the $. Enter the ticker of your choice. If it's NVIDIA, put in NVIDIA. If it's GM, if it's GameStop, throw in GameStop. Whatever you want. Obi, Sean, they're going to be locked. They're going to be loaded on the afternoon rundown, ready to take your tickers. The top 5 make it onto the board. So influence everybody in the chat, right? Get more people to vote for the ticker that you want, and we'll have the big kahunas look at it. All right, Apple, right back into 214 again. 214, there's been a love affair with VWAP, with 214 on AAPL. I still have my I got my beak wetter sitting in the low 60s, the one that didn't print, but I'm still sitting at 214.07 to get a really good, I guess, entry price for this one. We're still short 95s. We're showing 97s now on the, so we're at the money by a couple of pennies. Now we're in the money as it goes down again, but sadly we did not get more. I'm just too frugal. That's my problem. Right down we go again. I'm going to sit here in the low 60s. Nothing changes for my beak wetter. But I want to mention something on Apple, something that I also mentioned. It's very similar to Tesla in the sense that, yes, it's rangy, and yes, it's been sideways, but when you look at it a little deeper, there is a succession of higher lows that have been put in place with a flat top. Now, usually you get a flat top breakout when, you know, the trend is in your favor, when it's moving up, then sideways, then it continues up. So, you know, I don't want to call this a flat top breakout, but we have higher lows with a key area of resistance at 214. If the volume comes in aggressively during power hour, we could see that 214 absolutely get taken out, especially with the multiple upgrades that Apple has had and the price target increases that have been going on with this name in the last little while, ever since the whole thing with their AI, with Apple Intelligence, which I absolutely love.
I love, you guys know how excited I was about that pun. It was very excited.
Right? So, yeah, shout out to Derek B. Thank you, my friend. Very, very nice comment there from you.
Yeah.
Ty Bryant, Sharif, I shorted AMD at 159.15. Shout out to you, brother. Let me look at what AMD is doing. But if it's possible, can you just explain to me what your thought process was behind? Because when we explain it to everybody, people want to know why you looked at AMD at that level. So let's load up AMD and have a look at advanced micro devices. Daryl's getting excited.
I want to get in on that with you, sir. It's a great
All right,
look.
Derek, it looks like you got a fan here, man, because she likes your levels at these at this look. And I have to agree with you, Derek. Lots of topping tail candles into 159.25, 159.33, showing you that there was a real seller in and around there. Alas, we retrace into those levels. I absolutely hope you print, my friend. Goes without saying. Let me know how the trade go down, Apple. Right back into the low 80s. I'm waiting in the low 60s, so haven't got printed yet. BlackBerry did print me at 254s, but 55s was as good as it could do, Adira, because it's back into 51s. But at least we de-risked the majority of the position for 4 penny winner.
4 penny club. Dollar club who? 4 penny club. Shout out there.
4 penny club, baby.
4 penny club. Yeah, shout out to Sharif though. Seriously, on those stocks, you know, that is a winner. That is a winner. And you saw, you guys know if I'd been in that BlackBerry, I would have like fallen asleep behind the wheel and just left the trade. So I want to shout out Sharif for packing his patience on that. Speaking of packing his patience, I tried to do this on NVIDIA, and unfortunately, I think my patience bag is running a little thin. To be clear, we've had profit on this. I just do not like, I should have gotten out everything at the 80s. We were having higher lows in the book. I just got out here as we broke near 70s. I was initially going to risk this into 60s, but I have to trust myself. I don't see something in the book I like. I need to leave. It's all good. We're still fighting a little bit of, it was all a dream. Yeah, we broke below that 124. We couldn't get back above that 124.90, so I should have left there. It's all good. Now we're all back up here. Tesla, which is a name I should be avoiding because I've clearly had some issues with it. To be clear, I did have some profitable trades in this initially with this long. Which I'm actually really proud of the levels on. Later today, I think I was, not caffeinating enough. I was making some weird choices. But yeah, so good times there. This Tesla 196.80 is interesting, but I don't really trust myself on this. Also, I feel like Tesla's book has been harder to read lately. It's been a bit spreadier. Maybe I've just been spending too much time with its cousin NVIDIA, but I think NVIDIA I've had like a much better read on as of late.
I think you killed it on NVIDIA today, especially early on. You were so aggressive.
Yeah,
and you were adding on every pop, wetting your beak, wetting your beak.
I'll pull up my chart.
Yeah,
I'm so
show
proud of
everyone
this
what you're
chart, guys.
talking about, because this is not easy to do. I think these wicks are really ruining the chart because it would look a lot better than that. Yeah. And I don't know if you want to adjust the wicks to show the full picture there, Dara, but yeah, we'll do it.
I might put this on my Instagram as well.
That's actually really good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was really proud of these trades here. I had I think there was only one that was there were a couple that were a little dicier later, but all these ones earlier I was really proud of. And to me, I think that the profit, and thank you so much, Sharif. I think the progress and learning matters more than the P&L, which is why I hit my P&L today. Looking at it now, very happy with what I did here. Thank you, I appreciate that. The NVIDIA was the best name of the day. Tesla was the worst name of the day. A little bit sad that I lost some of those gains with some of those Tesla decisions, but all you can do is learn. And hey, NVIDIA, you're gonna show me this level again. I have no issue taking you into the end of my trading day here. AMD, I do wanna shout out that short there that was had by, I think, Bryant in the chat. This is a nice look. I might join you actually in this if I see us break below that 159.20. I just don't like these bottoming tail candles for myself, so I want a little bit more confluence, but I definitely pick up what you're putting down here. Shop is creeping up today, says Gatekeeper. So let's take a look. Yeah, Sharif was a Bill Gatekeeper earlier with those awesome Microsoft trades.
Yeah,
so I want to shout out your
today
Microsoft.
Softy.
I did miss that double top, and can I mention something super quick? Softy and Google are looking like first cousins today, my man. Look at this, Adara. Can you look at this? Look at these two charts. We're double top off VWAP, double top off VWAP, and they look like a head and shoulders pattern. We were talking about that. I did mention it on Softy. This looks like a head and shoulders, and you got a neckline break, and you got a decent move from 454 down to 452.75. Right. So, interesting. And then you continued the bearishness, because once you broke from that neckline, you started using VWAP as like that neckline resistance. So fantastic look today on Softy. I don't want to say an easy to read chart. They're never really easy, especially when you have to make live decisions with real money. But, it looks quite systematic in how it traded. And Goggles, kind of the same look, guys, right? Even though the head and shoulders definitely not as clear because of this outline candle over here, but you had a neckline break, a rejection down into 184.5, and then multiple rejections off VWAP here. I would say, you have to size a little bit more into Google because it didn't give you as much of a move as as Microsoft did. But that's just owing to the more expensive price. I want to leave you guys with this look, and this is the chart of Boeing. Boeing is at day's highs right now, guys. Unbelievable day today for Boeing. Not really sure what is going on, but it's up 2.8%, looking to go green. I mean, it was a bad headline and a good headline. The good headline is they're speeding up their upgrades of the F/A-18 Super Hornet, which is a fighter. And the bad news is they got in trouble for releasing their 737 Maxes without authorization from the NTSB. So,
Yikes! Of course they did.
Yeah. Don't ask me questions about Boeing, but that's the headline there. That's not pleasing to anybody, especially in light of the fact that they are facing criminal charges now with the Department of Justice. All right, I have to get up, so I'm ending my Apple trade here for a nice 20-penny winner on the short. I'm also going to end my trade here on BlackBerry for a flat trade there as we get out at 250. So that's done. I'm happy with the way I traded. I'm happy with the way I traded all week. So far, I've been positive all week, and we'll see exactly what we get tomorrow, hopefully. And I won't lose everything tomorrow like I did 2 weeks ago.
You gotta be optimistic. Bullish positivity.
Yeah.
Long positivity. I really want to shout out Sharif for that. So happy to be trading next to you every
Appreciate
single
you.
day. And you can see him moving around and talking at the green screen. He will not just be standing at the green screen, though he will be in a standing position. But yeah, basically, I got involved. That's just a joke because I said standing, and Sharif's like, I do more than stand. Yeah. So please check out, though, that awesome new segment. I cannot believe we only have 2 minutes left. What a day it's been. I know I took an NVIDIA short here. I scalped out a cool 2 pennies. The reason I took this short was because I loved that 124.70 area is long. If we broke decisively below it, I said, Adara, you owe it to yourself to short. I took the short. Oh my gosh, I should have more here now than I do. But you know what? We're going to take our cool 10 pennies. We're going to leave pleased as dang punch. NVIDIA, you gave me these great levels here 2 days in a row. If you give them again to me tomorrow, that'd be amazing. Just to clarify, my levels for NVIDIA, which have actually been hitting, are going to be 120. Okay, so we go back to 123.70, 124, 124.25, 124.50. 124.60. 124.70, 124.95. Not 125, but 124.95. So those are the levels on NVIDIA. They have really been hitting here. Really want to shout out everyone. What a fun day. Amazon was wild. I'm sure a certain someone or someone's will be mentioning Amazon there in the big desk, so definitely check that out. But also probably both people there because I know they both traded Amazon. Great trade. Shout out to both of them. AMD here. We have a bit of move down in the NQ in general. AMD, I want to shout out the person in the chat who had that short. That's a great look. But right now, we are almost done, AMD, with this show. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. We're going to go over to our new audience segment with Sharif at the green screen. I hope you guys had an awesome day.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you have your say every day. Obi, he's here. Sean, he's here. They're locked, they're loaded. They're ready to take